Hey, welcome to KocoSports Weekly Raw Review. I am the huge one, Dave Coco from KocoSports.com or KocoSports.net. It's where the world comes to kick ass, your home for combat sports, and above all, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. And you're a part-timer, superstar, tag team partner, Wrestling Rantin'. Wrestling Rantin', welcome to the KocoSports Weekly Raw Review Show.
What's going on, guys? The Brock Lesnar of the Infinite Infantry is back.
Can you get booed for being a part-timer?
I'm a part-timer, man.
Be like, Wrestling Rantin' sucks. All right, as always, we ask you win, loss, or tie, but we'll get to that in a second. I just want to give a couple thanks. Thank you to Geek Essentials who, showed Raw via Magic. Please check them out. Also, special thanks to Wrestling Rantin'. And Boom Boom wants to know what his nickname is in his mask. And then we might as well talk about the elephant in the room. We got tons of social media, our thoughts on this. A big-time YouTuber has recently been shut down because of copyright claims. And I think even though people might not like him, I think we should have his voice be heard. I think we shouldn't be worried about false flags and all that. I'm trying to work on a project, if I can, where I can straight up talk to YouTube. Like, maybe start, what do they call it, like a union or something? It's bullshit that there's many Raw reviews. I mean, some people are like, oh, are you celebrating? One of the biggest Raw review guys are down. No, because I could be taken down that quickly, and no one, even if we were bitter enemies, which we're not, we're talking about Bruce Blitz, even if we were bitter enemies, everyone should be able to have their voice. Everyone should be able to be heard. So please don't false flag. And YouTube, you really need to fix that stuff. And I'm going to contact someone and see if I can become, what do they call it? A partners program or something like that. It's basically a union where I'm not going to take any percentage. I just think wrestling podcasters, wrestling YouTubers need a direct line to YouTube. Because you have the foreigners who talk shit that will thumbs down it because they don't know how to pirate. You have other shows flagging each other, which is bullshit. My audience never go out and flag someone. It sucks because, Bruce Blitz was #1, and I would love to beat him at being fair. You know what I mean? Like, hey, dude, who's better? But now we'll never know. It's just bullshit. Same thing happened with Straight Shoot. And know what the problem is? In YouTube, and we talked about this before, Wrestling Rantin', in YouTube, so many people are so competitive, they're dicks about it. Yep. It's like, dude, if someone gets taken out, that means you can be taken out. And I've been taken out before, Straight Shoot has been taken out before, and there's been a ton of big shows being taken out, and it's bullshit. And instead of competing like everyone's the next Vince McMahon, we should be getting together and saying, YouTube, this is bullshit. All right, we got that big fucking push out of the way. Now Let's focus on win, loss, or tie. Wrestling Rantin', this is going to be a tough one. I think positive PDs are going to say it's a win. Negative Nellies are going to say it's a loss. What are you calling it? Win, loss, or tie?
I'm giving it a tie simply because of the Ziggler Neville match. That saved the show for me because it was going downhill real fast, and then wow, we get Neville and Ziggler? Holy crap. So I was mad happy to see that tonight. So that made it a tie for me.
I felt like screaming, like, this isn't even pay-per-view. The Ziggler Neville match was a huge surprise. I don't know. I think this is the first time I felt this way. I think they were trying to have a good show. Like, I think there was effort. I think they failed miserably a lot of times. But this is the first time in a while where I'm like, oh. But also, since Mania, this is the first time I had to look at my watch. Last week and the week before, I was like, oh, how much time is left? I had that moment this week.
Oh, God, what did you give last week? I didn't see your show. What did you give last week's Raw? Because I
might have been a tie or a loss. I don't know.
I trashed last week's show. It was terrible.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just I honestly believe it sucked, but they tried and they gave us one good match. You know what I mean? Like, that's my honest review. Like, I believe they tried. I don't think they were like, hey, dude, we want to fucking suck. I don't think that was part of their plan. But it just happened that way. Some things were done really well, and some things were done like, are you fucking for real? That's what you decided to go with? And it's one of those things like, I wonder if they're just doing it to be like, hey, we need people to complain, to talk about us. I don't know. Like, it's got to the point now where I'm just like, you know, a lot of WWE defenders, they'll be like, oh, they're working you. They're getting you riled up for nothing. But really, that's not the feeling I feel. The feeling I feel is like, why do we have to fucking watch this shit? When's next year's Mania? You know what I mean? I'm not even riled up anymore. It's like, but they definitely did try. I'm giving them a tie, but some things were fucking absolutely horrible.
Well, we'll see if we match up on what I thought was horrible, what you thought was horrible, and vice versa.
All right, sounds good. First off, we have Cena come out. The UK, I thought the UK audience made this show a lot more fun than it was. And not just the Cena thing, it's just when you let them go and have fun, it's a lot of fun. But Cena comes out, and they're really letting him have it. And he's the king of cheap pops. I mean, John Cena's in a ring, and he's like, how about blowjobs and shopping sprees for everyone? Would you like that? Would you like that? Would you like that? It was fucking ridiculous. It's just, man, they give him everything. And then you mentioned this on Twitter. The commentary was fucking ridiculous.
It was terrible.
Well, and not only that, but like, okay, Michael Cole has to be the straight man who kind of goes towards the face. Booker T has to go for the face. So you're like, all right, wait till we get to JBL. Then we have Michael Cole go, wow, John Cena is so polarizing. By the way, if anyone leaves a negative comment on anything, that just means you're polarizing. He's so polarizing. And then you got Booker T, you know, he's having a good time. He's just like, I'm happy to fucking be here. Yay, go John Cena. Then it's like, all right, JBL, let him have it. Let's hear the heel. And he's like, oh, go. I'm like, JBL, we can't hear you. He's like, I'm sorry, I got Cena's cock in my mouth. I was just like, who's the heel? Where the fuck is the heel commentary team? It's absolutely ridiculous. But I gotta say something. We don't get many viewers, but can I put on my fucking crazy conspiracy cap? I'm going to. Boop. I think they watch the show. I honestly do believe they watch the show. Either that or I'm starting to go insane. Because
they watch all of our shows.
Because a year ago, I said, oh, John Cena should open up all the matches, have the U.S. title, and be left the fuck alone. I also said he should have get against Rusev. Then, big thing I've been hit on Roman Reigns is, oh, just be Roman Reigns. Don't be mentally weak. And he mentioned that tonight. And I'm just like, you know what? I don't know. I don't have many viewers, but I think one of them, and that's just me being delusional, but it does start to get a little head scratching.
I don't think you're delusional, dude, because I was tweeting with the Steel Cage tonight about the primetime players thing, and they totally took the Lost Matadores thing, and they took something else from Solid Monsters podcast a couple weeks ago. So they watched this stuff, and it's really interesting when you see those things pop up. Is it coincidence? Maybe once or twice, but when they're like pulling from your show and my show and Solid Monster and OSW Review,
how cool would it be to be the intern? Because you know it has to be someone low on the totem pole.
Oh yeah,
that just all he does is watch reviews. Because here's my thing. Like, I know they're a monster and they don't give a shit and all that. That's the image they have. But no matter how successful you're at something, if someone was critiquing it, wouldn't you want to know? You know, wouldn't you be a little bit interested? You know, if someone critiqued our show, oh, man, sorry about that. But if they did, I would be interested. You know what I mean? It's weird that we live in this universe where if you get critiqued, it's like, oh, you're a player hater, you're jealous. And that's just not the case. That's not reality. You know what I mean? It blows my mind sometimes. But yeah, John Cena comes out. He has an opening match versus Barrett. And here's the thing. I'm happy because, you know, John Cena's in the first hour. That's great for his make-believe. The John Cena challenge still stands, by the way. Randy Orton obviously is on the John Cena challenge. Did you see that tweet?
Yeah.
Someone tweeted on why the fuck there's no kids shirts because it's bullshit. The game is fucking rigged, and we're not talking about the results in the ring. You know what? This is one of those, this could have been a 5-star match. And I thought it was a pretty decent match. The crowd was into it. But when the good guy is given everything, there's no point in watching. Like, a lot of people are like, well, John Cena gives a 97-star match, you know, the John Cena defenders. Well, here you go. If we know he's going to fucking win, who's really paying attention? Who? I mean, who in the right mind? They could have fucking did a 450 fucking red arrow off the top of a fucking cage. And my ass would be like, I'm eating donuts and coffee because I live in Tokyo. It's in the morning. I just think when it comes to the good guys, and I said this in my TNA review and I said it a million times, if you go at any level of storytelling, you go to your local community college, what they're going to say is, oh, well, the main character, the good guy in your story, has to have roadblock after roadblock after roadblock. Any level, you know what I mean? Like, if I teach sixth graders who don't speak English how to write a story, you would mention the roadblocks, you would mention the challenge, overcoming them. The problem with WWE and TNA, I'm going to throw TNA in this too, with Kurt Angle. If you have a good guy, they have to have fucking roadblocks. Because if you don't have roadblocks, they're just fucking bad guys. It's fucking ridiculous. But from what I did see of it, it wasn't that bad of a match. But, you know, I didn't read spoilers. But really, does anyone have to read spoilers to know who won this fucking match? What was your thought on the opening promo and this match?
The opening promo, and most people know by now, should know by now, I am not the world's biggest John Cena hater. I don't hate John Cena anywhere near as Dave does. I just don't like him I don't like him being in the main event, but damn it tonight, this motherfucker. Holy shit. So he comes out to the ring and he goes, they're booing the shit out of him. So he goes, yeah, I think WrestleMania should be in London. Cheap pop. I mean, I'm like, are you really have no shame in your game whatsoever, just to come out there and just basically suck off everybody in the damn audience?
But back in the day, this was pre-show stuff. This was never live on television shit. Back in the day, they've done this before. You know, obviously they would do it with a more popular guy, but that's how you get the crowd rowdy to begin the show. That's not the way to start off a show.
No, it's so terrible. And the announcers, JBL had the nerve to talk about Bad News Barrett pandering to the audience. I'm like, did you not hear what John Cena said? And like Dave said, you're supposed to be the heel announcer. You know, Jesse Ventura back in the day was all on Hogan's ass for all the hypocrisy that Hogan and McMahon were talking about. Hogan would do something and it was great, but when Heenan did something, you're on his side, right? You know, Heenan would go on about it. JBL's supposed to be in the lineage of these heel announcers, and he does nothing. You go back and watch every John Cena match that JBL commentates. JBL is just kissing his ass the entire time. Oh, he's the most winningest champion, and he can pull out it in the big game. He's a big game player. Come on, JBL. You're supposed to be the heel announcer. But
I want to add something, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. They are banking on the smartest guy in the room complex. They are banking on that there are more fans that want to be in the business and want to be smarter than the rest and hate passionate pro wrestling fans. That's what they're banking on. They're banking on $20 indie wrestlers to voice their opinion. They're banking on teenage boys who want to get into pro wrestling and fucking think that this is the best they got going, and that if you insult John Cena, you insult their generation. I mean, go watch other podcasts. It's a problem in politics. It's a problem in news. It's a problem in gaming. It's a problem in definitely pro wrestling. Companies, giant corporations are banking on you wanting to be the smartest guy in the room. That's what they're banking on. That's why there is no heel announcer. That's why John Cena keeps going out there, because they're banking on you wanting to be a part of the WWE more than being a pro wrestling fan. And this storyline just shows that. It just shows that.
But it's not working though. That's the thing. That's the difference between WWE and everybody else. Like there was the Marvel, because I have another podcast, you know, the Marvel Avengers thing had their like critics debut the other night, and there were people hating on it. And you know, it's the same thing with that people say they love Avengers, even if it was bad or good, we don't know yet, just to be in the know. But people buy it on that level. People buy it with the NFL. People buy it with these other companies. With the WWE, though, you hear every single week for years, they're not buying it. It's not working.
I think there's a live audience isn't buying it because a lot of them are casual or a lot of them are passionate fans. Know who I think is buying it? Indie wrestlers making less than $20 a week. Other podcasters that are like, well, if I'm positive, I'll get a bunch of the young YouTube generation to jump aboard. That's who's buying it. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why. If you ever go look, they'll be like, I thought Raw was amazing. They worked it. Blah, 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 all these positive things. But then at the end of the day, they're like, well, it's not the best of times. Well, then, you're part of the problem because you want to be the smartest guy in the room. You want to be in the business where, if you go to a Jets fan, I'm just picking on a Jets fan, or a Buccaneers fan, no one wants to be a general manager. No one wants to be the coach. At the end of the day, are they entertained with the product on the field? And are they winning? They're fans. That's why TV shows have fans. That's why sports have fans. I think what they're banking on is less and less pro wrestling fans and more people that want to be in the business. I think that's what they're banking on.
They can try. I don't know if it's going to work.
I honestly think it's working on YouTube.
It's working on YouTube to an extent, but YouTube, the portion of the audience is, relatively speaking, about 20 million fans around the world, give or take. I don't think it's having that much of an effect if they're getting panned the way they are. But I mean, that's up for debate. You got to give me a list of these positive podcasters because I listen to your show, Stalin Monster, and a couple others.
They're there, man. They are there.
Well, I know one.
All right. Well, let's not blast other podcasts. It's very let's focus on blasting John Cena. But you know what? I hate John Cena, but it feels like he's gonna be there no matter what. Fuck it, let's just get it over and done with. You know what I mean? Like, he's the opening match, he's the U.S. champ, poor Bad News Barrett. Yay, the UK should have the WrestleMania. I've never said this anywhere else before. Asshole, you said it in fucking Texas less than 6 months ago. All right, let's just pretend we didn't fucking hear that. Moving on. Then Rusev comes out and says it's going to be a chain match, a Russian chain match, which NWA fans were fucking high-fiving. I'm like, there's probably so many young fans that don't know what's going on, but we're like, NWA. It's going to be a Russian chain match. I'm a little bit excited for this. It seemed to kill the crowd a little bit. This is one thing. I'm going to get nerdy. Let's get nerdy. You coming nerdy with me? There's one thing that bothers me about WWE and maybe a little bit American Pro Wrestling is that weapons don't because weapons don't hold the same value. Like, here's an example. Rusev comes in, hits him with a chain. He's knocked the fuck out like he was hit by Tyson. But later, at the pay-per-view, he's going to get hit with a chain 4 or 5, 6 times and still win. Now, I just wish... Like, obviously, in pro wrestling, you have to be larger than life. You have to be able to take more. Like, you could take a chair shot in pro wrestling universe more than if your fat uncle just fucking smashed you with a chair. You know what I mean?
Right.
Pile drivers, all that. So we live in a universe where, like, hey, these guys are tougher than the average human beings. But with that said, I wish even in your universe, weapons had the same effect. Like, if you get hit with a chain at Raw and you're knocked the fuck out for 10 minutes, that means you have to do the same thing at the pay-per-view. I just wish that weapons held the same value across the board. And obviously you can't do in real life because, you'd be busted open, you'd be bruised, your face would be fucked up. We don't need all that shit. We're not opening a fight club. What I'm saying is have the same value. And that's why last man standing matches piss me the fuck off. You go a non-last man standing match. Let's just say a regular hardcore match. You go 92 fucking minutes and you can kick out at 2. But you go 3 minutes into a last man standing match and you're knocked the fuck out for 8 seconds. I just wish, like, I understand in your universe, in the universe of WWE, weapons are not going to be as effective as in real life. I'm with you. But if the weapons could be at the same level of effectiveness, you know what I mean? That's what I would really appreciate. And even if you have a Hulk Hogan situation where he hulks up, or a John Cena situation where he hulks up, or a Roman Reigns situation where he hulks up, I'm glad they're doing something different and new. Fucking Jericho. Anyway, okay, you have your moments of hulking up, but if you get hit with a chair and sell it, then the chair has no value. But if you get hit with a chain, you know what I mean? Do you follow me on this? I just wish weapons in this universe had the same effect across the board.
Yeah, they're not going to anymore, though. The only weapon that has any effect anymore is the ladder. So, you're kind of stuck with that. For those of you out there who are newer fans, of course, I would suggest, because WWE did a shitty job of doing this, they referenced Bruno Sammartino versus Ivan Koloff in one of the last Russian chain matches in WWE. Definitely check that out. There's also one with Sting and Nikita Koloff on the network. And if you just look at a chain match, of course, how can we argue that the greatest chain match of all time arguably could be Greg Valentine and Roddy Piper at Starrcade 83. So for those of you out there, because I know I get a lot of messages from people about the retrospective stuff, check those out if you want to see chain matches from back in the day. And then when we see the Extreme Rules one, you'll have something to compare it to.
Dear WWE, why is Wrestling Ranted promoting your network a million times better than you're promoting your own network?
Exactly.
Can we deal with that? And then John Cena goes off the air, and they're like, phew, it's finally over. The doctor put the needle in your ass. The hardest class of your day is over. The person you hate at work is leaving early. You know what I mean? It's finally over. John Cena leaves. Dun, 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 dun. Woo! We survived. We survived the John Cena segment. Pass out the T-shirts now. And then the cock warmers come out. And it was just like, come on. Can we at least wait a couple minutes before John Cena's fucking cock warmer comes out? It was like the biggest fuck you ever. It's like surviving. And I was in the Marine Corps, and you gotta hike your gear. We call it humping. Ha 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 ha, funny. But we hump our gear everywhere, and you'll see a corner. And they'll be like, oh, right around that corner, we'll be done. And then you go around the corner, you're like, yes, I'm done the John Cena segment. And then you just see a long, whorish trail that we call the Nikki Bella trail. We're like, it's not over. It's not over. I still have to carry this 240 Colt machine gun for another 12 fucking miles.
Terrible. Terrible. Terrible.
It is terrible. So the Bellas come out, but they're on commentary tonight. And man, you know what? Commentary's really hard. I'm gonna shoot with you, and I'm not very good at it. But dude, someone has to realize they're horrible. You know what I mean?
They should have cut their mics off. Even when you get to the point where Booker T is like trying to call the match, and Nikki and Brie are just still rambling on in their monotone voices. Yeah, Brie, when you take the butt bump from, it doesn't smell good. Shut the fuck. I literally was screaming at my TV, shut the fuck up. Just because they kept rambling. They kept rambling. I'm like, who? Vince, turn the mics off. Somebody do something. It was terrible. Just terrible.
Oh my god. You know what? Sometimes life isn't fair, and good-looking people get everything they want. You know what? They're such horrible people. I'm actually thankful that they're good-looking. Can you imagine if these two girls weren't good-looking? How just horrible human beings they got going. You know what I mean? Like, you look at them, and you're just like, well, at least they're good-looking. You know what I mean? Like, it's just they're bad people.
That's the only thing they got going for them, because the mic skills.
And they're not even the best of looking girls. Like, they are very good looking, but if there weren't twins, they wouldn't have WWE jobs.
No.
Period. All right, let's think. Let's have a moment. Thanks, Terry Funk, for making horrible people good looking, because can you imagine her just being fat, or just like being fat with that personality working at a drive-through? I mean, you gotta think someone. I don't know if you believe in a higher power like I do with Terry Funk, but you have to thank someone that they're good looking, because the world would be a shitty place if they weren't. Oh man. All right, Divas Battle Royal. Yeah, it happened. Let's just focus on the good. Paige does win. The fans go absolutely crazy. There's a good feel-good moment. UK girl wins. Congratulations. But yeah, there you go. So I thought it was pretty decent. Then they go to commercial, and we're going to be getting to your live comments after this. They go to commercial, and they're doing an interview. And, I'm happy. Like, it's one of those, yeah, Paige, this is your moment. You're the girl. UK. Woo! They come back from commercial like, Paige, Jesus fucking Christ, get the fuck off the television. You had your fucking moment. Well, so she cuts an interview. She's not doing too bad. You know what I mean? People are really getting into it. And then she gets attacked by Naomi. And the crowd just goes dead. And I'm just like, kids? This is the definition of bad booking.
Yep.
Like, all right, yeah, you want Naomi to turn heel? Great. You can wait on that. It just seems like no one gave a shit. She's still with the Usos. Are the Usos turning heel? Like, it was one of those. You get a heel turn. You what? Oh my God, can you believe it? Seth Rollins turned on the Shield. Like, you don't want this to be the reaction. Why?
Cricket.
like I don't even think cricket would be like that would be a higher crowd noise than what had happened. Like, I just heard thousands of people in London all at the same time go, why? Are they airing this? Is this on television? Why? It just seems weird. It just, you know what I mean? Like,
it was a good surprise, but we have to say, like Dave said, it comes out of nowhere. I mean, there could have been some sort of lead up to it. I don't know where it's going though. With Extreme Rules, are we getting a 3-way with Paige, Naomi, and Nikki? I don't know, but it seems like there's a point to it, but the point's not there. And when that happens, anytime in fiction, when that happens, you're kind of on a bad road. And that's kind of the problem with this whole thing tonight with her heel turn, because the interview she gave later on in the night was okay, but still, it made no sense. Nobody got it. It was a surprise. Somebody said recently, I don't know if it was you or another podcast I was listening to, that if you give a surprise, that's one thing. It's one thing to give a surprise when you do a heel turn or something like that, but it's got to be a surprise that makes sense. Otherwise, it's just doing stuff just for the sake of doing shit, and it means nothing. And this was a case of doing shit just to do shit, and it means absolutely nothing yet. We don't have a crystal ball, so I don't know what's happening in the future, but I wasn't impressed by this heel turn tonight. I'm happy to see Naomi getting some FaceTime at the top of the card now that AJ's gone. She did take some digs at AJ, which I was waiting for the CM Punk fans on Twitter to start losing their shit, but they didn't. So,
CM Punk isn't doing himself any favors with keeping fans.
No.
But I you know what? I don't really mind this because it benefits her career. When Alex Riley does it, you're just a fucking douche. But when she does it, it benefits her career. It gets her heel heat. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm okay with this. But with Alex Riley, I'm just like, no, you're a fucking douchebag. What are you going to do? Are you going to have a fucking feud for the Divas title? Yeah, congratulations. You're good looking, got everything handed to you, and you decided to get a fucking DUI and throw it all down the drain. Why don't you put your fucking DUI score in the back of your neck, douchebag?
Well, he got his ass kicked by Kevin Owens, so I guess that's something.
Well, it's better than what he was doing.
Yes.
All right, we're going to go to some live comments, but when we get back, we're going to talk about Grandpa Simpson. I mean, Bray Wyatt. You are Captain Bray Wyatt. I am not so much, so it should be interesting when we get back. Yeah. All right, let's go across the board here. Bullet Club Biggs is watching us on Google+. Thank you. On Twitter, at UPC_VOCERO, Ambrose and Harper look like a tag team. Laugh my ass off. I wouldn't mind it as a tag team, I guess. I think the Wyatts need to get back together.
Yes.
At the_Jan_Brower liked and tweeted us, and so did at Kim_Zhang_Bundy, Blood on the Mat, Nathan Brown, Whitelist Bro, all these guys retweeting us. Much love. That really does help out since we're such a small podcast. All right, let's refresh. Boom, boom, boom. All right, we have 13 likes and 0 thumbs down, even though we had one earlier. I guess we won them over. We won them over.
That was a WWE guy looking at us, and then he decided to not make it so obvious.
Yeah. Well, no, there is one guy, I kid you not, about likes and things. We'll go through this fast. There is one guy that goes out of his way to dislike every single video. So some of my smaller videos will just have one dislike. And he emails me telling me how other shows that he watches are better and doing way better. And I'm just like, wow. I got shit to do, bro. Could you imagine not liking a podcast so much that you go on their YouTube, still subscribe, by the way, dislike every single video, and then give highlights of other podcasts? Like, did you know this guy is so much better than you? Man.
Yeah, some people have nothing else better to do with themselves.
A7X Weeman, I think he's also Weeman in our Internet Infantry chat on KocoSports.net. I want to give it a tie for Neville versus Ziggler, but it sucked. Loss. Franielli, a high member of the Internet Infantry, wearing a sweet Internet Infantry shirt that you can get at KocoSports.net. The show just started a few seconds ago, and there's already been a troll disliking the podcast, but he went away. Yeah, some people get mad. They're like, I hate this. And then they're like, oh, well, you know, they're nerds. I'll take it away. Andre Waldron says Kane's character has been grinded into complete mush over the past 15 years, and tonight's laydown was the final nail in the coffin. That's nice of you, Andre. I thought his final nail has been a long time ago.
Yeah, I agree. It was a long time ago.
But yeah, tonight was a bit weird. But here's the thing. That segment fucking sucked, but the live audience seemed to be into it, but we'll get to it.
Yep.
Franielli says, I will have to give it a weak tie. One match cannot save a show. Now we have Cena with his open challenges bringing back prestige to U.S. title. Just excuse me to continue with the norm. Cena wins, LOL. Jan Brower says, I give the show a win. Would have made it a 9 out of 10. Was Kane my favorite wrestler? Didn't turn face. You know what? Sometimes when people, Jan Brower, I love you, brother. Is that like a legit? Because like sometimes on internet, sarcasm doesn't go through. And if you enjoyed it, that's awesome. I just don't know. Like my whole thing is, I was on board. Like, oh, okay, someone might give it a win. Oh, 9 out of 10. I got it. But then when he says my favorite wrestler is Kane, I'm like, no one's favorite wrestler is Kane. Like, you buy the troll. Maybe his favorite wrestler is Kane. LK Wrestling Review's favorite wrestler is Kane, or one of. I don't know. Malik Douglas says, instead of watching Raw this week, I watched a Raw from 1998. Give yourself a Barry Horowitz, which are now on their shitty network, and ate Mexican food. I did see some of the Neville Ziggler match. Neville said that one of the things he wanted to do when he got up to the main roster is go against Ziggler, and I'm glad he got his chance. He should be going against people that don't need wins, though. Who puts a debuting guy against the WWE champion? What the fuck? Well, they've had success with this before. The original NXT, Daniel Bryan went against Jericho when he was the champion, and people lost their shit for that. That was a big deal. That's what I think cemented the NXT reality TV show, which NXT has changed into a developmental territory, as you all know. But and this was very famous in the territory days. Yep. In the territory days, this was done often. It isn't done that often anymore, but they have a record of doing it. Justin Stever says, so the WWE wants to bring prestige back to the U.S. and IC titles, yet Daniel Bryan hasn't had a match on Raw in 2 weeks. Yeah, not only that, but he's our Internet Infantry champion. And Cena has matches on Raw and SmackDown. Does that bring prestige to IC title? # fuck Cena. I just think maybe, and this is just me, no facts whatsoever, so I apologize, I'm not the smartest guy in the room. I can act like it if you want me to. But I don't know, maybe Daniel Bryan's not as healthy as they lead on. Like, you know, he came back from a really bad injury, and I broke my neck and back and lost nerve damage to my left arm. I think he might be a lot more hurt than people are putting on. But then again, why fucking put him in a ladder match? You know? MMA Voice, I sent your card, by the way. It's a Hallmark card. No, I'm just kidding. Ambrose and Harper look like a freaking tag team. LOL. Franielli says, I agree with Dave. Having wrestlers taking a shot with any weapon and being unconscious as a result to then having the same type of interaction on a pay-per-view but with a different result is lame. It shows inconsistency in the product. And yeah, there's a lot of inconsistency, and I just wish they just took pride in it. Power Play says, are they forgetting about where the WWE is for kids? We have 4 shows that kids can't watch on a kids network, supposedly.
Yeah.
We're
going to get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. The John Cena challenge still stands. We get a lot of tweets all the time. What is the John Cena challenge? John Cena lies. And John Cena says that the major demographic is 8-year-olds. And I said, if he could prove more 8-year-olds watched Raw, watched Mania, go to Raw, and go to Mania, when he comes to Japan, if he can have proof, legit proof, I will be a man of my word, New Jersey style. I don't know if anywhere it does this, but usually, like, if you make a challenge and someone doesn't accept, you put your arms behind your back, you put your chin up, and you just let them fucking crank you one. I will let John Cena punch me in the fucking face. I already have a boxing gym that's next to Sumo Hall. So the day that you go to Sumo Hall, or if you want, you can just punch me right in Sumo Hall. It'll be convenient for you. But I'll sign contracts. I'll make sure that's all legal. If you can't prove, John Cena can't prove more 8-year-olds watch Raw, more 8-year-olds watch WrestleMania, been to WrestleMania and Raw, then you have to dress like a normal person and for 1 week in Japan, do real charity work. No cameras, no saying you're John Cena, and no wearing fucking John Cena merchandise. You're just going to be John. This is my friend John, and this week he's helping out. That is the challenge. He won't take it, but you might as well throw it out there. John Cena is so polarizing that only one fan was cheering for him in his seat. Yeah, fucking the polarizing thing cracks me up because, you know, I'm a writer, and I'm going to be a writer in my fucking real name soon. I'm not going to use a pen name. I'm not going to ghostwrite, and oh my God, am I scared. But, you know, what are you going to do? I mean, WrestleMania, didn't you do art, other stuff? You also are a writer. Can you imagine being like, oh, you thought my book sucked? That's because I'm polarizing. Like, it's just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, no, that doesn't work that way.
Yeah, I don't know. People just protect themselves. Sometimes critics have a great point, you know? I mean, people tell us all the time how to improve the show, and you listen to them, and sometimes you help, sometimes it doesn't, you know? Malik Douglas, the fans called Naomi a racial slur, the N-word. That was edited on the broadcast. It really sucked. There's a video bit of it on the internet. That sucks.
Not surprised.
You know, like, my whole thing is, you know, I guess everyone has a line. Everyone has a line. And my whole thing is, some people are like, oh, you should not disrespect wrestlers. Fuck them. I think you should be able to disrespect. I think you should be able to ruin shows. You paid for a ticket. You can do whatever you want. I even think you should be able to curse after a certain amount. You know what I mean? Like, imagine going to a Monday Night Football game and telling the local drunk, hey, I got my 8-year-olds. Could you not curse? No, if WWE wants that, have a family section. And if your crowd is as big as John Cena says, your family section could be the first row, whatever. You're full of shit, John Cena. But I think there is a line. And my line is, you can never touch them. Like, even, like, I even cringe, because I used to work security. I even cringe when fans touch them, like, good job, pal. No, you should never touch them. And you should never, like, use racial slurs or like the sex stuff. You know, like, you know, the other day you suck, Cena, and all that. It's just, I don't know. To me, it's like you can ruin a show without going that far. You know, and some people, I guess everyone has their own line. But racial slurs, sexual innuendos, I guess, if I'm using that word right, I think it's gone too far. You know, but if you want to, like, piss them off, please retire. That's okay. Change the channel. And I guess everyone is different. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Like, it just looks horrible. Because not only that, but, you know, people discredit wrestling fans all the time for any reason whatsoever. And that's just fuel. You know what I mean? Like, oh, well, see, they don't like John Cena, but they're also racist. So what does their opinion matter? And granted, that doesn't make sense in any part of the universe. News corporations do that shit all the time. Why do you think when someone goes to become a news host or someone goes to run for president, they look through your history for that one thing? Now, it shouldn't be that way, but at the same time, stop fucking using racial slurs and sexual innuendos. I don't know. That's where I draw my line. Like, my whole thing is, I'm like, fuck you, Roman Reigns. Fuck you, you piece of shit. Fuck you, John Cena. And then, like, if someone pushes them, I'm like, yo, dude, too fucking far. What the fuck you doing? You just bought a ticket. This ain't fucking, you know, this ain't a fucking brothel. Back the fuck off. You know, but I guess everyone has their own line that they need to cross. But, yeah, that's just sad. And I heard just from soccer fans that the UK has a real racial problem. So that's just sad.
The world has a racial problem, and it always will, until the aliens come down, and then
we'll all get together. We'll be like, I used to hate black people, but now those fucking purple aliens, we can get on board. Like, I think I
That's
think
the way. That's the way it's been through history. Every time you had people used to hate the Irish in America, and the Irish and the Spanish, and then as soon as my folks started coming up, then it's like, oh fuck, we're all white. We hate the black people. That's the way it always. Once the new strangers come around, then you have somebody else to hate, and you wind up binding together. That's the way it is.
It's sad, but it's so true. Oh man, well, we'll finally have racial peace and harmony as soon as we have someone that we can all hate. And,
Exactly.
and I travel around the world, and like, let me tell you something. People at the working level, like I would say low white collar and lower. You know what I mean? Like, you have your rich fuckers that are just horrible towards everyone, but usually, like, if you own your own business or lower, usually those people are great no matter what. Like, I own a company in Russia. I kind of do, yeah. I own a company in Russia. I own a company in China, even though I stepped down from the day-to-day running it. And I'll see people all the time be like, fucking China, Japan, they fucking suck. I also own a company in Japan and Russia, and I'll just be like, no, I meet with these people. They're my friends. They're good fucking people. You know what I mean? Don't mistake people's governments and propaganda for what the people can do. Find out. This got way off topic. World peace, sons of bitches. All right, Mr. Jason Batman, we'll come back to your comment when we get back. All right, let's talk about something we could totally disagree on here. Bray Wyatt, Grandpa storytelling time. Did you hear my rant about Grandpa storytelling?
No, I didn't hear that one. Thankfully.
Right, well, let me give you. Well, I did mention you. Like, I figured you would just start shaking in your bed and wake up, and I pictured you being with like 27 different hot women, and you're like, what the fuck did Coco just say? And,
What did you do?
Get back to bed. But to me, Bray Wyatt is your grandpa. He tells great stories about being tough, and you're like, everyone get around. Grandpa's going to tell a story, and you listen, right? And he's talking, he's using racial terms because he's old and doesn't know any better. And he's telling stories about how he fought in some world war that no one fucking remembers because, it's not on BuzzFeed. And he's like, I killed 76 fucking people with my finger. And you're like, fuck yeah, Grandpa. But Grandpa believes he's still that person, okay? And trust me, I'm a former Marine. I know what it's like to be that grandpa. And he goes down to the park, and there's a bully, you know what I mean? A thug, a bully, a 22-year-old in shape, pushing little kids, stealing their ice cream, because if after-school specials have taught me anything, that's what people do at basketball courts. And Grandpa says, I had enough. And he goes there, and he still believes he's that tough person, and then gets the shit kicked out of him. That's Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt is great at telling stories. Bray Wyatt is a great grandpa. I mean, I could just see sitting under his tree, in a rocking chair, and he's telling a great story, and you're like, yeah, Grandpa. But then when he goes down to the basketball court, people are whooping your grandpa's ass. That's Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt is grandpa. And not only that, but like, do you think creative even knows who he's going after? Because they showed his back, and they're like, that's a hint. I'm like, that's not a hint. I'm blind. What the hell is that? Is he going after Jake the Snake? Who is he planning to lose to next? Now, I know you believe in Bray Wyatt a lot more than I do, so I'll give you the floor to make the rebuttal to Grandpa Simpson over here.
Yeah, he's only lost one match. He lost one match against The Undertaker. He won every feud before that, except going back to Cena last year. But people are still butthurt about that, and will be forever.
Oh, I will never let it go.
I know.
I don't care how much I play that Frozen song in the background.
I know. That's why
I can't. Well,
that gets into my thing about sometimes fans can bury guys and not so much the company or the performer, because some vendettas against certain performers can carry over to burying guys who don't deserve it. Wyatt himself, he's still doing his thing. His promos have kind of plateaued right now. I'm not sure what he's talking about or who he's talking about, and I think that's a problem when there's not when he was doing the Undertaker stuff. He did a magnificent job, by the way, of carrying a feud for 6 months by himself, giving promos by himself. When we knew who it was, that was one thing. We don't know who he's talking about now. So it's a mystery. But again, like the Naomi thing of her turning heel, if you don't, if there's no kind of clear direction on where it's going, it's just like it's something just for the sake of something. And it feels like his promo tonight, even though I like the new design on his jacket or whatever, that was cool, but it feels like something that's just done for the sake of doing it. It's not really going anywhere. I don't see a direction. It's coming out of nowhere. So that's the problem with
Would
the
you
promo.
say it's a grandpa story?
No, I wouldn't say it's a grandpa story. I think
here's a
I'm
question.
still with him. I'm still with him being. Again, every time I listen to him talk, I hear Jake Roberts. I hear Jake Roberts' old promos. It's the same. It's the same kind of thing that Jake used to do.
Now, here's my question, and I'm stealing it from the Internet Infantry chat. This was a question during the show. I apologize. I don't remember the guy who left this. The question was, do you think creative even has an idea? Do you think they're just like, make it vague as possible and we'll give you an opponent later? Do you think creative right now knows where this is going?
I don't think. Well, I'm not sure. Does creative write Bray Wyatt stuff, or does he write? I thought I saw an interview where he writes his own interviews.
That's a huge possibility considering his family and how good they are.
Yeah, I don't know. Creative, WWE creative, whether they don't know what they're doing next segment, so I'm not giving them any credit for anything to know what the hell's going on next. They don't know what's going on for main event right now. They're trying to figure it out. They don't know what the fuck's going on. Bray, I don't know what to say about right now. Like I said, he's plateaued right now. He should have come out strong. I think it's almost time for him to turn face. Honestly speaking, he's at that level right now where if this was 10, 15, 20 years ago, he'd be on his way to a face turn against the Authority or something. But it being WWE 2015, he's going to be sitting in neutral for about a couple months until they figure out what to do with him.
Gotcha. Yeah, because to me, it's a really interesting situation, to be honest. And it's like I want to care and I want to let it go, but I just can't. I just can't.
Well, it's time. Like I said, it's time for him to go face. If he turned face against a heel that everybody hated, if he went face against Seth Rollins, which he's like 8th in line for that right now, but that would be huge because I think it's again with Ziggler, it was his time after Survivor Series to do something big. Right now, it's kind of Bray's time to do something big just from the feeling and momentum of the show and the crowd. It's time for him to turn face, but I don't think it's going to happen, much like we saw it didn't happen for Ziggler getting his big push to the world title. So
yeah. And tonight, one thing that this did remind you of, this show reminded you of how many great wrestlers they have that they fucked up. Like, it was just a reminder. You just watch the show, and you're like, he could be a main eventer. He could have been a main eventer. He could have been a main eventer. And then you just get, like, sad at the end of the day. You're like,
oh, yeah, let's not even get to that. I can't wait to get to the Cesaro spot. That's going to be.
Yeah, oh, shoot. I got hate in my heart for that one. But let's talk about a good one. You got Lucha Dragons versus the Ascension, a very short match, but it warmed my heart. It warmed my heart how over the Lucha Dragons were. Just because the Sin Cara character, all he's been through, the Lucha Dragons in NXT, the Ascension bombing. I don't know why. My son loves masked wrestlers, and I was just happy. I was happy about the Lucha Dragons. I thought it was a nice finish. They had some nice moves. It was a very short but fun match, and I don't know. It was a feel-good thing because sometimes you see a guy and you're like, man, I wish they would get over. Oh, man. And, Sin Cara had his problems with the original Mystico being Sin Cara, and then they repackaged him, brought him up. I don't know. This was one of the few parts of Raw, even though it was short, that brought joy to my heart. And that doesn't happen too often.
Didn't dig it at all because
Really?
Well, I didn't dig it at all because number one, nobody's like Ascension is the best tag team in the world, but the way they've been just destroyed on the main roster is pathetic. I mean, they could at least. I looked at this as a wasted opportunity. This could have been a feud between the Lucha Dragons and the Ascension that could have done something well. You could have had this going on for a while. They have that history in NXT, and they just basically made it a squash match for the Lucha Dragons.
That's a great point. I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I'm gonna play devil's advocate and defend WWE for a short time, and that's usually not the role I do play. But I think the Ascension, it's over. Like, you can't bring him
Oh,
back
it's
down to
definitely
NXT. You can't bring him back down to NXT because they left as heroing monsters. They come back now, it's like, really? What the fuck you doing here? And they failed so big on the big stage. Now, granted, I think that had more to do with booking not sticking to a story and booking panicking way too quick. But because it was like, the Ascension, they're monsters. Fuck you. All right.
Yeah,
Like,
they didn't even get they got no shot at all. The first day they were on Raw, they got buried by JBL on the microphone, and it continued for 3 weeks. After that, it's, what are you gonna do with these guys? You might as well release them and let them go to Ring of Honor or some shit like that.
Yeah, not only about being big guys, maybe New Japan. New Japan does really
New Japan
good
would
job
love
at
that.
repackaging new guys.
They would love the Ascension, and Ascension would fit in over there. They could enhance their gimmick, and they could learn to wrestle. So there you go.
Yeah. But to me, I think they're stuck with them. I think, and this is just me, and I normally don't defend WWE. I could see the Ascension being a job squad type tag team until you just eventually release them. I mean, you can't bring them back to NXT, in my opinion.
You can't. The gimmick's got too much. There's stuff to be done with that gimmick, but they're just not doing it, and that it's wasted potential for me. They can get something out of them. They're not going to be again best tag team in the world. They're not going to be LOD. They're not going to be Demolition. They might be on a level of a Powers of Pain or the Faces of Fear. You got a lot of mileage out of those guys. Like, remember Barbarian and Ming in WCW? They weren't like the greatest tag team in the world, but they were a lot like the Ascension. You got a lot of good matches out of them. Power matches, and they were a good worker tag team. That's what the Ascension could be, but right now they're just jobbers, and it's wasted potential for a tag team division that's severely lacking anything right now. It just makes no sense.
This next segment is brought to you by Fuck You, Chris Jericho.
God.
Fucking douche. He used to be a hero. I think the fact that Chris Jericho sucks cock for a living now fucking breaks my heart even more because I've watched him from fucking early days in ECW in Japan. Like, it breaks my fucking heart what Chris Jericho's done. So we are sponsored tonight by Fuck You, Chris Jericho, you fucking douchebag. With that said, this next segment surprised me, and this is where my conspiracy cap comes on. No one was calling him mentally weak except one podcast. Did you notice he said he was mentally strong? I was like, but the fucking Roman Reigns is listening. Roman Reigns, you there? Give a thumbs up, brother. But I thought this was the first time since winning a Slammy that he wasn't a Make-A-Wish John Cena. Prior to this promo, I believe he was Make-A-Wish John Cena. What I mean by that is I think Roman Reigns was dying, and he's like, my last wish is I want to be John Cena. And I think, we always made the joke, dinner theater. Tonight, the role of John Cena will be played by Roman Reigns. I think this is the first time Roman Reigns was himself. If this is the future, if Roman Reigns is going to get a cheap pop for bitch, if Roman Reigns is going to... I thought Big Show cut a good promo. I was going into this like a fucking zoo monkey, where I was just shitting in my hand waiting to throw it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to shit in my hand and throw it at him. And I'm like, you know what? Let me just put the shit in the toilet and clean myself up. I was surprised, and this is the thing. This is the first night since winning that Slammy that I believe he was Roman Reigns. I just believe it. And not only that, but the mentally strong thing. And then a Big Show came out, cut a decent promo for Big Show. You know what? I wanted to hate this, and I'm probably going to lose a lot of street cred. I wanted to hate this, but I have to be fair. I think this is the best both men have done in a really long time. I thought I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, and the fans didn't shit on it. And here's the thing. I don't want Roman Reigns to die unless he's playing the part of John Cena. If Roman Reigns becomes his own man, which I think he tried to do tonight, I could be behind that Roman Reigns, because I've always said Roman Reigns is better than John Cena. I've always said that. Now, if Roman Reigns just becomes Roman Reigns, I mean, is it me, or do you think this was his best promo since winning the Slammy?
Well, I think them having a week off from him talking to the audience helped a lot. There was a lot in this promo. This is one of the positives of the night that made me
See,
put it.
I'm shocked. Can you believe me and you? Negative Nelly and fucking not so negative Nelly. I feel like we're the game grumps. I'm grump. You're not so grump. We are the wrestle grumps. But did you ever think that me and you would be doing a show together and be like, yo, Big Show back in Roman Reigns? Not that bad of a segment.
Well, I give it to Roman Reigns, not so much Big Show. I think it goes to an interesting theory that I have, and I think this may be WWE creative doing something smart. I'm kind of seeing, as Dave pisses into a cup, I'm kind of
sorry about that. I didn't know the mic was picking that up. Minus 10 points for me.
I'm kind of seeing, but there was a lot of chants tonight. Big Show, please retire. I was talking with a lot of people.
Who said that first? What podcast said that first? I'm going to
Exactly.
pull my arm giving myself so many Barry Horowitzes.
If you start chanting, I am awesome, I'm going to leave. But I think that...
I saved that honor for my lady in her 30 seconds in the bedroom.
Yes. This show was... But never mind. Anyway, I think that a potential thing, if it's going the way I think and hope that it's going, is Big Show winning the Battle Royal. He is up there in age. There is a lot of people talking about him retiring. The crowd's chanting, please retire. I'm wondering right now if they're setting up a match for Roman Reigns to retire the Big Show. And if that does happen, I see that going a far way to making Roman Reigns a likable character again. Because he hasn't been, Roman Reigns as Roman Reigns outside of that whole WWE WrestleMania push, I don't have a big issue with the guy. It was the fact that
I think the day he won Superstar Slam of the Year and that build up, that's the point where I lost my shit.
Yeah, well, that
right there was horrible.
That was along the line, and that was along the train of him going to the WWE Championship match at WrestleMania. But now that that's over with, and now that he can go back to being Roman Reigns, and he can, in the promo he cut tonight was pretty good. He cut a bitch. I'm going to get on that too a little bit later on when we talk about this ratings thing. But it was a good promo. I like the spot. And if it is going towards Roman Reigns retiring the Big Show, that, in my opinion, would really severely help him getting favor back with the fans. Because I don't think he's not a show like John Cena. He's not a goofball like John Cena. If Roman Reigns, take all the bullshit away, he's a pretty decent character. He's not the greatest. He shouldn't be where he was. But
he should definitely stop doing interviews with the media, though.
Yes, he should stop. He should stop talking to people. I'm glad he didn't. I thought he was about to say, "You all hate your lives," but he didn't do that tonight. So what he did tonight, he handled the crowd well. He had some good lines. He took that bump on the top of the taxi cab like a champ.
I just want to talk about that. Did it not feel like, not the good part of the Attitude Era, not the bad part of the Attitude Era, but the thing with the car? Did that not feel very Attitude Era-ish? Like, people always did shit vehicles back in the Attitude Era. Like, I don't know. To me, I was like, oh, am I watching an Attitude Era moment?
Yeah, there was a couple of those tonight too. I will note, but overall, I thought it was a decent segment. It was the best segment from Roman Reigns, and this may just be again for us, because the title push is now over, the WrestleMania shit is now over. We can that's gone, it's done, and now Roman Reigns is just back to being Roman Reigns. So maybe the hate for him is just going away a little bit. Maybe that's part of it, but no problems with this tonight. It was one of the positives of the show.
All right, we're going to go to some live comments because we're going to go on a positive note, because when we get back, we're going Randy Orton, and there's nothing positive coming out of that chat. All right, yeah, Bullet Club Biggs on Google Plus says, I don't think Daniel Bryan is not 100% healthy. I think he meant to say, okay, I think he's meant to say he's not healthy. He also says, sadly, I'm not surprised that the limey crowd in the is limey a racist term? I don't understand what limey is. In the United Cuntdom would chant such lowbrow bigotry at Naomi. She handled it with such dignity when she could have really let him have it. Yeah, and not only that, but like, I don't know. Like, first off, A, it should have never happened, and B, do you think? No, I was going to say, do you think WWE has some responsibility? But they blanked it out and all that. I don't know, because here's the thing. I was like, I was getting weak-minded for a second, going, do you think WWE should know like that there's race tensions? But that's bullshit. They shouldn't change their show because scumbags are racist. I apologize for even thinking that.
Yeah.
On Twitter, at Vinny the Samurai says, what do you think about Orton beating Cesaro Kid? We're going to get to that. I always think the tag teams losing a handicap match is never good. At Vinny the Samurai, when I read a couple more comments, we will get to that. And I'm trying to not lose my stuff. Jeff on Facebook says the 450 spot, Pac is killing it. Yeah, that was pretty awesome. Thank you, Jeff. And now back to YouTube. Let me refresh this. Boom, 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 boom. This awkwardness is brought to you by 19 thumbs up, 0 thumbs down. Woo! Yeah. All right, where are we at now? Where are we at? YouTube, what the fuck? Help me out. I know, because I'm like, oh, I'll go with this comment, and now the comment is completely gone. All right, we'll start with you. If I missed one of your comments, I apologize. Mr. Jason916 says, I give it a week win. Yuhan Nation equals one of the best of indie final. Yeah, I can't wait to see what Yuhan Nation does. Finally at NXT, and Shimmer Girl Casey Cassidy's at NXT too. I just hope Yuhan Nation doesn't go on Tough Enough, because if Yuhan Nation goes on Tough Enough and gets cut by Trish Stratus, I'm gonna fucking I'm done. I'm fucking done. All right, so boop, boop, boop. There we go. He also says, Samoa Joe, where are you at? Coco, Wednesday debut in WWE or NXT main roster? I could just go up. I know Samoa Joe has retweeted us, and just because Samoa Joe retweets us from time to time, thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. It doesn't mean we're like best buddies. I see sometimes because some people lie and they're like, well, I'm best friends with Samoa Joe. No, it's not like me and Samoa Joe are running along an Okinawan beach, really slow music, hugging each other, holding hands, singing, we're best buddies. All I know is what I've read online. Samoa Joe stopped taking bookings, and that's always a sign that they'll probably go.
You're probably looking to summer before he at the next NXT special.
Yeah. Kevin K. Esco said, sup, guys. I'm going to give the show a tie only because of Randy just RKOing Tyson Kidd and Neville and Ziggler putting on a great match. Good to hear you and Double R tonight as I'm celebrating my 30th birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday. If you want, send us some questions and we'll do a Stump the Idiot and head into the old sunny Florida. Coco, I'll be sure to watch a Rays game while I'm there. Sweet. Go Rays, go. Yeah, that sucks. I used to be a part of Florida. We could have went to a Rays game together. Blood Wolf Assassin. By far, that is the scariest fucking YouTube name ever. Are there any WWE stars that you think should jump ship to Lucha Underground? If so, name your top 3. Well, Lucha Underground is about to go off the air, and if we're not taking money, if we're just going to go off talent, I'm trying to think, because money is a factor, where your position is. I mean, Dolph Ziggler leaving would be great, but I don't know about that. It's a tough call. Maybe a lot of the NXT guys if they're not going to get called up. But it's really tough because Lucha Underground, I love it with all my fucking heart. It's just they're going to have an off season. They're not getting paid as much. It's hard. But if we're going to live pure fantasy world, Ziggler, Cesaro, and Tyson Kidd. That's my fantasy world. Do you have guys that you'd like to see in Lucha Underground?
The only guy that comes to mind right now is, who's the hippie guy that just got released?
Oh, I don't know. I forget his name, but I know who you're talking about. Yeah. I'm sad that gimmick didn't work. That's one gimmick I wish, people are like, wow, I wish I worked for WWE. I normally don't say that because, it's a shitty fucking job. But when it comes to that gimmick, I wish I worked for WWE. Could you imagine? You've read some of my shit before. Could you imagine me behind that gimmick? We'd be making fucking headlines.
Yeah, getting shut down too, but yeah.
Yeah, well, of course it would get shut down, but you never know unless you pitch it. Total nonstop action. TNA says, "Sup, Coco guys? You guys doing a TNA Impact Wrestling review?" Yeah, we do it every week. We did it. I was sick this week. I actually do a show every day, and this weekend I only did one show in 3 days, and that one show was a TNA Impact review. It wasn't my best. I was definitely under the weather. Mr. Jason916 says, Coco, when does WWE
Great question.
When does WWE come on the tour of Japan with Baylor and Kenta headlining that? I don't know. J Sports usually has them around Christmas and around summertime. They'll start advertising it like crazy. Whoever's in charge of the Japanese market is a fucking genius. Rob's fucking laughing. He's the only one.
Well, they'll be a genius if they put Kenta and Prince Devitt on as a main event. I mean,
I think they have to.
That match didn't happen before, did it?
I have no idea. You can't ask a punch drunk guy a question like that.
I think it did.
I'm gonna say no, but you could always Google it.
I looked for it when they had it at the finals of the NXT Championship tournament, and I couldn't find anything from where they had fought each other before. So I may be wrong, but
I'm very bad with the history. I'm just very bad. I just got a bad thing. And Wrestling Ranton tweeted us what a hashtag Cena sucks.
Yes, I did.
Really? You got a hashtag Cena sucks? After all he's done for you, he saved you. He wrote the Declaration of Independence. He's an American
you're his hero.
He ended World War II. I am his hero, but he should be your hero.
But no.
All right, let's talk about the shittiest thing of the fucking night. Fuck you guys. Fuck you, WWE. Randy Orton, I tweeted this and I fucking Facebooked it. Randy Orton went from cool to Cena in one match. First off, they advertised a hell of a lot cooler card than they delivered. Like, the first hour, they're like, do you like dream matches? Well, we're going to advertise them and not deliver. Thank you. Thank you very much. And one of them was Randy Orton versus Cesaro. I'm a Randy Orton hater, but with his Twitter account, with him not staring as much, I'm kind of like, hey, Randy Orton could be cool. He could win me over. No, he wanted to make sure. He's like, I think Randy Orton went to that ring going, you know what? Dave Coco almost respects me. Well, let me fucking throw that right out the fucking window. I was excited to see Randy Orton versus Cesaro. And I was like, oh, Randy Orton's going to win. I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? It's just fucking WWE. What can I do? But hopefully they have plenty of time. Hopefully they can have a great match, you know? And Cesaro, you know, just boop, gets DQ'd because Tyson Kidd, if I can basically pulls Orton off the apron, and your winner is Randy Orton. And I'm like, well, you know, it's not a long match, but you know, at least they fucking didn't beat both tag team champions. I swear to you, I swear to Funk as my witness, that's what I said. I literally said out loud, like, oh, that sucks. That's a bit of a letdown, but at least he didn't beat both champions. Here comes Kane. And I'm like, are you fucking for real? No! Turn around, Kane! Turn around! What are you doing? And he's like, it's a 2-on-1. And I was like, nope. My hatred for fucking everything is back. Fuck you, Randy Orton. I don't care how cool you are on fucking Twitter. You're an asshole. I just could not fucking believe it. Then Randy Orton hits fucking Kid with the RKO and beats the tag team champs. And by the way, great. They always try to rebuild the tag team division, and then Orton and Cena has to beat both champions in one night every fucking time. It never works. No one goes, wow, Cena and Orton by themselves. No one goes, wow, Randy Orton beat both tag team champions. No one fucking says that. Everyone says, for the love of fucking God, how weak do the tag team champs look? It's just fucking beyond fucking embarrassing. I think this is the worst part of the show. I started liking Randy Orton. I thought we could be friends. You know, I thought he was going to retweet us. But no, it's not fucking the way it's going down. It is not the fucking way it's going down. Fuck you, Randy Orton. Fuck you, WWE. Worst segment this year. Not worst segment in 2 years. Worst segment in 2 years. It was just god fucking awful. Why ruin the tag team champs? Why give Randy Orton everything? Why? I don't fucking get it. For what? That he can fucking end this show making stipulations? By far the worst thing WWE has ever fucking done, next to Be a Star. Next to the Be a Star program. I would rather watch Big Show's Hollywood fucking blockbuster than watch this. This was pure fucking garbage. You made Nikki Bella look talented. You made John Cena look talented. This was by far the worst fucking thing I've seen in a very long time. And fuck you, Randy Orton. Fuck you. You fucking piece of shit. Beating Cesaro wasn't enough. Why? Why is this a good idea at any fucking level? Dear independent wrestling companies, dear Ring of Honor, dear TNA, dear Lucha Underground, dear every single fucking person that's ever booked. I'm even going as far as, hold on, not so fast, my fellow friend, eFeds, GM mode on WWE 2K fucking 97, the fucking booking games on the computer. I apologize. What is it? Total Extreme Wrestling? Total Extreme Wrestling. All those type things. Never, ever, 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 ever have your tag team champions lose a 2-on-1. Ever. And not only that, but he's a face. What the fuck? I mean, what the fuck? How? How is this even a fucking thing? Why? Why is this a thing? Wrestling Ranted, I'm going to tag you, but it's not a hot tag. It's just I'm defeated. I got nothing in me. I just roll to the corner and fucking tag your boot, roll out of the ring, and walk the fuck home on this segment.
Well, I have to say, when I saw Kane come out, I actually got excited because I said, okay, they're going to restart the match. But then he made it a handicap match, and then I knew the fix was in. I don't mean to go off on a rant here, even though that's my name. But how this is to the WWE creative team and that one person who watches the show and is going to scan the show to get the feedback from the internet, smarks, or whatever. Listen here, buddies. I write, Dave writes, we write. We're creative writers. You're probably a creative writer too, if you're going to hear this. This is not how you build anything in any form of fucking fiction, period. You have a tag team division, and I've mentioned this earlier. You have a tag team division where you brought up a tag team, you buried them on the first day. You got another tag team who got buried in kayfabe tonight by the primetime players. You're trying to reestablish them through jokes. You got rid of Goldust and Stardust. You don't have anybody else really challenging for the titles. The best tag team you have is the Usos, who are now injured. And so your entire tag team division is running off of the credibility of Cesaro and Tyson Kidd, who've been building up credibility for 2 months, and you completely ruined it tonight. You absolutely cannot have any tag team, not even the champions, a tag team get defeated by a single wrestler and have them maintain legitimacy. A tag team is supposed to be a team that are two great wrestlers who can beat any single wrestler. That's the way it's supposed to be. That's the way it's always been. You have Randy Orton coming out here and RKOing Tyson Kidd. You have him beating up Cesaro, making him look like goofs, having him fly around the ring like a bunch of jackasses when they're the two of the most talented people on your roster. And you wonder why your tag team division can't get over. You wonder why you people aren't interested in the tag team title matches. You wonder why they don't mean anything. This is why it doesn't mean anything. This is why fans are pissed off at you. This is why people don't have any faith in your product. You have Cesaro, who you had win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal last year as if it's supposed to mean something. The guys gave him a tag team championship, and he's doing this. This match tonight, let me play Fantasy Booker for you and show you how this shit is done. If you're going to have this kind of a handicap tag team match, you have, number one, a spot in the middle of the match. Whoever's booking the wrestling, you said Cesaro, you throw uppercuts. Randy Orton, you throw uppercuts. Let's take a note from that thing we did at WrestleMania. We want the two of you just slugging the shit out of each other with other uppercuts in the middle of the ring. Back and forth, hard, stiff as you can. Crowd's going to lose their shit over that. That's what we want to see from Orton when he takes on Cesaro. We don't want to see a DQ. We don't want to see the tag team champions get buried. And if you can't understand this, you need to get a different job. It is not your job to go out here and go, well, we don't know what to fucking do. We need to push Orton, so we need to completely bury somebody else. It's not how it works. It's not how it's ever worked. You don't destroy one thing to push something else up, especially something that's struggling. Give your tag teams the respect they deserve. Don't insult the intelligence of us fans, and do something right for a change. Learn how to fucking book. And that's the end of my rant.
Yeah, it's fucking horribly bad. I mean, it's one of those things, like, I want to see I just wonder, like, what are the biggest WWE defenders gonna fucking say about this shit? You know what I mean? Like, what could you fucking possibly say? I don't fucking get it. Like, how could this fucking be good? And here's the thing: Randy Orton's a face, and he's on the path of being cool. Listen, how many times can I fucking say this? Faces are not supposed to be handed everything. All right? Fucking overcoming the odds doesn't mean I'm going to beat fucking everyone. You know what I mean? I just don't fucking get it. I don't. Can you imagine how shitty a classic movie would be with fucking WWE booking? How shitty would Rocky 1 have been? How fucking horrible would Rocky 1 be? How horrible would fucking the Mighty Ducks? It's just, I'm fucking done, dude. You can't even fucking book the goddamn Mighty Ducks. Nathan Brown, I'm going to some spam comments. All right, let's go across. We got some spam comments. I don't know why they're into spam, but we'll still get to them. Bullet Club Biggs, the hate for Roman Reigns was uncalled for, in my opinion. I don't think so. I don't think so at all. When you go out there and you act like John Cena and we hate John Cena, you deserve John Cena's hate. And then when you go publicly and you're like, oh, well, it's because people hate their lives, that's you living in a fucking bubble. That's not you living in the real world. You know, you meet some of these celebrities and they legit are fucking in a bubble. Let me tell you something. If you have a famous friend and he says, oh, people don't like me because of haters, and you agree, you are damaging your fucking friend's mentality. You know what I mean? He's losing contact. You know, that's why when you meet these celebrities, they don't fucking know how to interact with people because they have 4 or 5 fucking people up their ass going, yeah, they don't know what they're talking about. Dude, no, he deserves every ounce of the fucking hate. You know, he does. He fucked up. And you know what? Maybe WWE put him in a bad position, but he didn't fucking speak up. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, like the hate for Roman Reigns was uncalled for. I don't think so. I think it was the right amount of fucking hate. I honestly do. He was playing the part of John Cena. That's why the Chris Jericho, oh, you wanted something new. No, that wasn't new. Tonight was Roman Reigns. Tonight was different than John Cena. No, when you're handed Superstar Slam of the Year win after win after win, and you're fucking a monster and you're the best, and you're not ready for that position, it's called for. You know, we live in a world where you have to fucking tell people the truth. You know, people have to fucking be honest. You have to be like, hey, dude, this fucking sucks. This don't. Like, here's an example. I used to do live radio. I used to do live television. But I got injured, and I stutter, and I twitch, and someone had to pull me aside and be like, yo, Coco, we love you, man, but it's time. We can't have you twitching on live television. We can't have you stuttering on live radio. And it sucks, but someone has to tell you the truth. And that's it. I mean, no, I don't think the hate for Roman Reigns was not uncalled for at all. Pretend that sentence made sense. But yeah, hopefully he can bounce back from it. Hopefully he can be a stronger person. But anytime any human being goes out and says, people don't like me because, and I don't give a fuck what your profession is, people don't like me because they hate their lives, you have lost touch with fucking reality. There's no coming back. That statement is fucking ridiculous. And if any of your friends say it, you have to pull them aside and be like, you've lost touch with fucking reality. You can learn stuff from fucking critics. You can learn. Now, is there a small percentage that just wants to get a reaction? Yeah. But usually if you go and be like, I fucking hate KocoSports, or I hate Wrestling Ranted, and you go and you click, they'll like something else. Most people will like something else. So you have to be like, well, they don't like my show. Thank you for the opportunity. Or, hey, I'm sorry you like someone else. No problem. Good luck. It's when you get to this point of, oh, I don't like KocoSports. Well, you don't fucking know anything. That's fucking insane. That's insane way of thinking. And it just seems nowadays, especially with celebrities, and not even celebrities. I see like fucking friends on Facebook. I'm 29 and live with my mom. And fucking you're a bunch of player haters. No, fucking sometimes people have to tell you, dude, it's time. It's time to get a fucking job. So no, I don't think so. He also said Lightning versus Red Wings, first round. Go Bolts. Hashtag Go Bolts. I fucking hope so. Man, I fucking love the Lightning. I got my fucking stubby playoff beard going. I hate the fact that I'm got patches because I'd like a nice fucking Daniel Bryan fucking type beard for the playoff runs, but I just never pull it off. I never pull it off. Let's go to spam. Nathan Brown says, loss. Ziggler and Neville was great, but Kane and Big Show hurt the show. The tag team champs can't beat one guy. Again, the best two-man team in WWE can't beat one guy. And I didn't hate Cena tonight, but the rest of the show sucked. And why is that in spam? Like that's actually pretty decent fucking comment. Get on your game, Google. Wrestling Ranton, he just tweeted us out. So boom, that's you. And MMA Voices, I think Bruce was flagged because of constant selling of his website. I'm pretty sure is that. I know it's fun to make fun of people when they're down. obviously, you're kicking them, but that's bullshit. It shouldn't be that way. People sell T-shirts. People sell sites. It's just fucking wrong.
I don't think that's the reason why they got because we all put our websites on here. I don't think that's the reason why. That's why I was laughing because I don't think that's a reason.
Yeah, I just hope that YouTube fucking treats wrestling reviewers better. And if anyone knows how to set up their own network, that's it. Anyone knows how to set up their own network. I don't want to take money from other YouTubers. That's not what I'm doing this for. I'd like to set up a network where I can have direct contact with YouTube and be like a representative of like fucking the YouTubers, because listen, there's people that are newer that have a lot more subscribers, make a lot more money, and they should fucking have that right. There's people that have been here a long time that I don't agree with. They should have that right. The fact that, other shows are false flagging, it's bullshit. That's just my opinion. And even though, I don't know Bruce Blitz personally, I don't know Straight Shoot personally, I don't know a lot of these guys that get their channels taken away, and I try to help them when I can. I think it's bullshit, and there has to be someone to be like, no, you can fucking do wrestling reviews without fucking it being shut down. So hopefully, if anyone has knowledge about how to set up your own network without taking other people's money, I just want that contact to YouTube, which I have a contact, but I want a contact where I'm a network so I can fucking just put a bunch of wrestling review shows, good or bad, different opinions. We should be able to be free to talk about fucking pro wrestling without being fucking spammed. Power Place. Mr. Jason says Roman Reigns sound a lot better. No more pressure of the title, and most of the Vince and Samoan family, he can relax and be Roman Reigns. That's a possibility. Power Play says, I didn't know Kane was a dominatrix type. The car battery comments were funny as hell. Oh, that's a reference from Shane McMahon. I don't know if you know. That's a reference from the Attitude Era. That's why there was a Shane O'Mac chant. Rihanna Jackson, my opinion is that they should have let Barrett win in his home country. They could have let Cena lost this one. Yeah, but they can't. They don't know how. Like, that doesn't comprehend. I understand your point, Rihanna Jackson, and that makes sense. It makes sense to everybody.
Well, that goes into another point, like the tag team match. This is where those are instances where run-ins are legitimate, because you don't want to. Obviously, Cena's going to wrestle a match against Rusev at the pay-per-view, so Barrett can't win the title. But you have a run-in that can tie into a different story. Same thing with the tag team match. It would have been nice if they had another tag team cost Cesaro and Kid. You save face for Cesaro and Kid. You start a new feud up for the tag team championships, and the tag team title holders don't look loose. But again, this is WWE 2015. They don't know how to book.
Razor Wolf said, okay, here, Kev K. Esco says, thanks again for the birthday wish. I could say for you to do a Stump the Idiot for me, I would say my question would be, who would be in your all-time dream match? All right. I'll save that for a Stump the Idiot question. Boom, boom, boom. I was supposed to do Stump the Idiot Sunday, but I was so sick. Get my Stump the Idiot pad ready. Boom, 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 boom. A lot of YouTube questions this week. We might have to... like a lot of people asking about YouTube. Razor Wolf. Okay, I'm back. Can I start watching again, or do I need to crawl back into my hole? Razor Wolf, I would be honest with you. This was almost a good show, but watch one match. Watch the Dolph Ziggler match. The Dolph Ziggler match is really good. The rest, I don't know, maybe a clip show? I mean, Wrestle Ranton, do you know a short podcast that does a clip show?
Oh, possibly. It might be Wrestling Ranting on YouTube. You could probably check that out. It might have it on there.
I would definitely check out Wrestling Rantin. He'll give you the scoops, and then I would just go out of my way to watch the Neville Dolph Ziggler back. And Razor Wolf says, "I missed you, Ewok." We all missed Ewok. Ewok's awesome. We need to give an internet infantry hug to Ewok. He's having hard times. Hard times. I think we're all having hard times. But Ewok, we need you, man. We're not the same without you. Come on, Ewok. Mr. Jason 916 says, "Hippie NXT wrestler equals CJ Parker."
CJ Parker, yes. There you go.
Thank you. All right, let's go back to break it. So we will get to more live comments. You can hit us up on KocoSports.net, Internet Infantry. Know what I noticed about the Internet Infantry chat? We're rocking and rolling during the show. As soon as the show ends and the podcast begins, they're like, fuck the Internet Infantry chat. To YouTube we go. Like, oh. Also Twitter at KocoSports. And also we'll be getting to your Google Plus and YouTube one. All right. Boom, 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 boom. All right, let's see. Where are we at? I'm retarded. -10.
We finished up with the tag team match?
Yeah. So next we have Kane and Rollins backstage where they're trying to pull the WCW thing. Nothing memorable about this, so I'll just skip it. I mean, is there anything you want to mention about Kane and Rollins promo backstage?
Well, I did want to mention this. The testicles came up. We had a couple of bitches tonight. I guess this is going to be a good time to mention the rating thing.
All right, let's do that.
So, Kane, as Dave said, Kane's testicle reference was to a spot back probably about 10 years ago where he actually had Shane McMahon handcuffed to the ring post and took a car battery and attached the. I just laugh. Fun. This is how awesome wrestling used to be. He actually went in and electrocuted Shane McMahon's nuts, grapefruits, on in the arena on live TV. So
we had so stupid, but that made you laugh.
It's just funny.
Joy. Yeah,
exactly. It's funny in a brutal way, which is what wrestling's supposed to be. You had Dolph Ziggler drop the bitch word. You had a couple of asses and bitches tonight. So you go to this commercial later on in the show, and we're not going to cover it obviously, but they put out what they were having for the network coming up. Of these things, they're having a mature rated cartoon show called Camp WWE, which immediately I go, what the fuck? So you're going to wait. So your wrestling show from this wrestling company is PG rated, but on your network that you're selling to kids, by the way, John Cena Challenge, you're having a mature rated, not only just a mature rated show, a mature rated cartoon hosted by Seth Green, which is pretty cool. And the disconnect, I don't understand this fucking company. It doesn't make any sense to me. Not TV 14, mind you guys. It's mature rated. They went out of their way to say that tonight. Now, on one hand, I'm pissed off because it doesn't make any sense. But on the other hand, and some people brought this up to me on Twitter, is WWE slowly creeping away from the PG era thing? Is that what we think is happening? Because we've had, even though they were hard way, we've had a couple of blood shots here tonight. The Reigns-Lesnar match was pretty damn brutal. We've had some loose language these days. We've got some diva stuff going on these days. So I'm wondering, are they inching away from PG? Do you think that's what's happening? Or is this just an anomaly and they're just being dumbass WWE that makes no sense? As someone said, inconsistency with having a mature rated cartoon, yet a PG rated wrestling show. Dave, what do you think?
I think they're just lying. There is no 8-year-olds watching this shit, and if there is, it's not the fucking majority. It's definitely a fucking minority. Go to the fucking events.
What sense can you make out of them having a mature rated cartoon show, but the wrestling show? Explain that to me as a TV radio person. What would go through an executive's mind to say, we're a PG company, but we're going to have a mature rated cartoon on our network?
They know their average demographic is 41 to 38 years old, depending on where you look. They know that. They know in that The Simpsons and Family Guy does good, but they know sponsorships want family-friendly shit. So what they do is put on free television the family-friendly shit, and then the good stuff you have to buy for the network. And I wouldn't mind it too much, to be honest, if the network was good. Like, the network could be a million times better than it is. Like, why ain't all house shows on the network? Why? You know what I mean? Like, They went on the UK tour. Why ain't that there? Why ain't there other stuff? Like, the problem is WWE has a network, but they don't treat it as their top priority. And I don't know about you, but if you have a network and it's not your top priority, you really just have a membership area that sucks. You know what I mean? And hopefully, you know, with the success of Netflix, the success of Hulu, WWE will go this route. And there might be a day where we don't review Raws and we just go review network shows. There might be a day where that comes. But my problem is just the lies. You just stop with the fucking lying. You know, if you want to lie to Skittles, you want to lie to fucking Burger King, you want to lie to those guys, fine. Lie all you want, but don't lie to your audience. Just, you know what I mean? The reason you lie is because you thought it was more money. And not only that, but you made a mistake. Even Forbes have said it. If you went the sports route and treated it more seriously, you would have got more money.
Exactly.
You know? And Forbes knows a little bit about making money.
A little bit. Just a little bit.
So here's the thing is they made a lot of huge mistakes, but I think they're trying. Like, I'm trying to think like WWE. I think they're like, listen, we know our real demographic is 38 to 41, but we can't say that to the sponsorships. So what we're doing is we're hoping that the real fans buy the network. And maybe that's why NXT is so good, you know? But
so possibly it is a thing that they're inching away from everything being PG era, and they are inching towards a more
I think the network's inching, and I think WWE Raw is inching, but I think the network is more like, no, we're running that way, and the network is inching it because you still have John Cena, you still have Make-A-Wish, you still have Be a Star, you still have all this fucking shit that makes them feel good, you know? But at the end of the day, they're embarrassed of what they actually are. Where if you're like, well, what we really are is the network. And hopefully it changes, but I don't know. I just think and not but the sponsors have to know. Look at their sponsors. How many kids sponsors do you see on that show? I don't see any fucking kid sponsors.
Outside of the stuff they make themselves, no. They make the Flintstone stuff and the Scooby-Doo stuff, but that's a couple of toys.
I mean, because they have Hair Club, gas, oil, movies. You know, I don't see, oh, look. You know,
yeah, little Johnny's going to get that John Deere tractor. And
exactly. I don't get it. And that's the thing. I think it's like they sold out for instant money, but got huge hit on the thing. Because what a lot of people are forgetting, Vince McMahon promised NASCAR money. Vince McMahon has more eyeballs than him than NASCAR money. But when it came down to it, they're like, no. The fuck? You're an 8-year-old TV show fucking in the middle of the night. Live sports is where it's at, not fucking live 8-year-old shows. And like, no, we're sports honest. Give me that NASCAR money. Give me that NASCAR money. I need the NASCAR money. And fuck them.
Well, you have to count into the fact that despite what he says, Vince McMahon is out of touch. He's out of touch with even entertainment. I guess I've said this 1,000 times. Compare any of the acting on WWE to any other TV show, and if you took out the ring and just had the acting that he likes to do, as a producer, this show would not be on the air for more than 2 weeks.
And a lot of people are like, no, Vince isn't out of touch. This is when, and there's a part of me, like, there's a small part of me, like, maybe he's not out of touch. Maybe he's just having a bad run. This is when, like, that little voice in the back, because the loud 99.9% of my brain was like, he's out of touch. He's fucking clueless. But there was this 0.1%, like, maybe he knows what he's doing. He's just having a bad time. But when Arrow, the actor in Arrow, said, I want to host Raw, and he's like, I don't know who you are, that I was like, I'm done. You're out of fucking touch. It is over. Like, if you don't fucking know who plays the Arrow, and you're in charge of WWE, and you look at the fucking statistics, you look at the demographics, who's watching what, and you're out of your fucking mind. Yeah, it blows my like. That's it. Like, my whole thing is maybe he's not out of touch. Maybe he's not out of touch. Maybe he's just loyal. Maybe he's, you know what I mean? Because like we've all ran companies where like, we could do better, but I don't want to fire people that are loyal. I don't know. I've done that. That's why I probably fucking hate one of my companies right now. But you know, loyalty goes a long way with some people. So maybe he's stuck with this. But when he's like, no, we don't know who the fuck you are. I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? And no offense, but name name one musician, not name and one musician during that halftime at WrestleMania.
Well, Sasha was her face, but
No. But hear me out. But hear me out. Sasha, what's her face? Okay, let's go with Sasha, what's her face. You say you're for 8-year-olds. You think more fucking 8-year-olds know who Sasha, what's her face is than the fucking Arrow? You're out of your fucking mind. Now let's go to your real demographic. Do you think, 38 to 41-year-olds are watching Arrow, especially if you watch pro wrestling, watching Arrow or watching fucking Sasha, what's her face? It's fucking insane. That's when I knew he was out of touch. Like, there's some people you're like, oh, I don't really know who you are. All right, they're going for 8-year-olds. Oh, I don't know who you are. They're going for the real demographic. But when you have the perfect fucking character, the perfect fucking guest host for your fucking lie demographic of 8-year-olds and your real demographic of 38 to 41-year-olds, and you're like, oh, I don't know who that is, you are officially out of touch. You have lost it. You are gone. That's like, I meet these SEO experts and they're like, what's Facebook dark post? And you're like, I'm done. Stop talking to me. You're fucking officially done talking. It's just, no, you can't. You have to fucking have a clue. All right, let's talk about the next match, which was odd. WWE Superstars invades Raw. You had Adam Rose in the ring. And how bad do you feel for Adam Rose? Not Adam Rose, but Adam Rose's Rosebuds. They're probably local indie wrestlers / local actors going, we got to have a good time. And everyone's just looking at you like you're a fucking idiot. Dean Ambrose comes down. He hits Rose with the dirty deeds. Short match. And the WWE Superstars invasion of Raw is officially over. Do you have anything to add to this short match?
It was just basically a squash match for Dean Ambrose just to get him back on the show. So they accomplished that.
Next, you had another short match. You had Stardust versus Fandango. This, I think it was
Sinister.
It was 2 short matches back to back. Nice reference. Give yourself a Barry Horowitz. But yeah. It was 2 short matches back to back, and I think I always have the rule: you can't have the same match back to back. If you have a tag match, it has to be a singles. If you have a women's match, it has to be you know what I mean? You can't have the same style match back to back. I really believe that. And I think this shows it. I don't think Stardust versus Fandango, if you put another match in front of this, the crowd gets more over. It's just like, oh, we have a short match, and here's another short match.
This is, well, you know what this is. This is a bad thing. This is like give Divas a chance. This is a bad thing of them trying to address. We want more wrestling on the show. So you've noticed we've had more matches the past couple of weeks, but they're short shit matches. So it's come on.
Yeah, it's sad. But Stardust gets the win. The highlight, I guess, for everyone of this match is afterwards, Fandango dumps his girl and goes back to his old song. And England loved it. And you know what? I feel good for Fandango. I was kind of like, fuck him, dude. He deserves to have something. You know what I mean? I don't know. Am I wrong for thinking that? I felt bad for him. But he got his song back. I was happy.
At the end of the day, you kind of feel bad for him because they tried to put him in a new, more serious direction. Didn't work at all. So he's got to go back to the Fandangoing, which was the only thing people really. I mean, the people didn't like Fandango. They liked the song and the dude that did the little dance with the fingers in the air.
Yeah, but when you're a mid carder, just fucking trying to scrape by, why fuck it? Yeah, you know what I mean? This motherfucker needs work. This motherfucker needs food. You know what I mean?
There you go. To the previous commenter, there's a wrestler who should go to Lucha Underground. Fandango.
Oh, he would get over. Nice. Give yourself 2 Barry Horowitzes. You are going to break your hand giving yourself so many Barry Horowitzes. Seriously, just between me and you, no one's listening. Does it break your heart when we reference Barry Horowitz and then some people don't know what we're talking about? It breaks my heart every time.
Dude, have you seen my channel? Half the people who watch my channel have no idea what the hell I'm talking about because everything's 20 years old.
Yeah.
Great American Bash? What's that?
That was a fucking Clash of Champions. All right, let's get into today. We have Kane, and then Daniel Bryan comes out. And I thought Daniel Bryan wasn't there, and maybe he was taking a vacation. But then that he's there, I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? He says, don't be a stooge, be a man. And the fans fucking love Daniel Bryan. And I don't know. I mean, just the lack of using him I just don't know if he's healthy unless they're trying to fucking make us think that.
Well, they may be just trying to protect him. I mean, he did wrestle pretty hard for a couple weeks there, and they know he's coming off injury. So, downtime, Daniel, take some. You've been wrestling hard. Take some time down. Do you notice he got his beard trimmed though?
Yeah, well, he's looking like a gentleman for the NHL playoffs.
There you go.
I have beard envy, and I don't have beard envy any time of the year except when the Lightning are in the playoffs. Because if the Lightning go far in the playoffs, dude, I just look like a patchy fucking homeless man. And to grow a beard, I envy you. If you have a beard and you could grow a beard, I envy you during NHL playoff season. It's not because I was always a baby smooth motherfucker growing up, I didn't have to I was in the Marine Corps and only had to shave once a week. The Marines fucking hated me for that. I was like, I don't have to shave, because you have all those inspections and stuff. Oh, fucking Marines. But anyway, yeah, but now I have to shave, but now when I don't shave, I'm like, yeah, playoff beard, baby. And it's just like, okay, you went from fucking fat guy to homeless fat guy. And I'm like, yep. And the Lightning are still in the playoffs, baby. All right, you got Kane versus Seth Rollins. This was ugly, except the live audience seemed to love it.
I actually liked it.
Really?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know if I liked it. No. I'm happy I'm happy that you liked it. I'm happy the live audience liked it. You know what I mean? It's like when you order a pizza.
You try to think about it for a second. You're like, wait a minute. No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't fucking good. I don't know. I did not enjoy it one bit. Since you enjoyed it, I'll let you drive the bus on this one. But I'll just describe it like this. It was a really shitty pizza, but everyone around me liked it, so I just kept my mouth shut. But I fucking thought it was horrible. All right, hot tag to you. You're driving the bus for this match.
Here's part of the reasons why I thought it was good, because they've built this up during the show. So this was one of the few times where they actually had something that you didn't know what was going to happen, because you had Daniel Bryan coming in telling Kane, don't be a pussy, be a man, be a monster. There was kind of the thought maybe he was going to come back out for the 18,000th time, changing back to Demon Kane. But then you also had the Big Show telling him to do the job. You had Seth Rollins and Jamie Noble, who goes, Kane, I think Kane should do it. So Kane was going.
Hold on, dude. I love Jamie Noble more than a straight man should. Don't you dare badmouth former Ring of Honor champion.
Yeah, but he said, but Kane is almost as bad as Booker T's. What the hell? The hail, not hell, hail, like hail.
Well, anyway. He's trying to be PG.
Yes, the hail.
Oh, but by the way, let's give Michael Cole a Barry Horowitz with the line of the night insulting Booker T. I thought that was pretty good. That's a stone.
Yeah, after the F5, Michael Cole got some balls, so maybe it's the best thing to happen to him. But Kane comes out. He's confronting Seth Rollins. They're going to have the match. Now, again, the stipulation is if Seth Rollins wins, he gets to add the stipulation to the match against Randy Orton at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view in a couple weeks. So the whole idea is that Kane's going to lay down. Kane goes down there. I thought they were going to do the finger poke of doom. They didn't do that. Kane lays down, but then he gets back up. And he gets mad at Jobber and Jobber Security. They get thrown out the ring. He then attacks Seth. Then he has a change of heart again. Then he choke slams Seth. Now I think it ran a little too long after this point. He went to do the whole tombstone, but then he changed his mind, laid down, pulled Seth over top of him in a old date rape. I call it the date rape pin, where he took a
send all hate mail to at Wrestling Ranton.
That's what it looked like. You're laid out. Come lay on top of me, And then he just rolled him over on top and got the pin.
You sound a little way more experienced at this than you probably should be.
No, man, that's just what it looked like. It just looked really, really scary. So
this awkward moment is brought to you by Wrestling Ranted. Go like, comment, subscribe on his channel.
Yes, exactly. Kane did not stay in the ring too long. He immediately bolts out the ring. JBL, being again the worst heel announcer ever, says, I'm disappointed in Kane. And we're all disappointed in Kane. He lost all respect for Kane. I thought
20 years ago.
Yeah, 20 years ago. I think this whole storyline with Kane was interesting because number one, I wasn't looking at Kane and going, fuck Kane. I was actually engaged in what they were doing because I wanted to see how it was going to play out. So I thought that was good. You didn't know how it was going to end. You thought he might have turned, maybe not, and then he did. So I think the drama with it was good. As a match, it wasn't a match. It was a spot. So for a spot, for adding something to the show that I couldn't predict, I couldn't really say, yeah, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. It's interesting, and it's going to be interesting now to see where Kane goes from here, because obviously it looks like he's heading towards a face turned away from the Authority. But number one, does anybody want to see that? And number two, again with Big Show, is he leading towards retirement? We hope. So that's why I thought that's why this segment interests me, because I couldn't predict it. I like the whole back and forth and the unpredictability of it.
I'm so glad you're here, because if you weren't here, this would have been a recap. Who gives a shit? So give yourself a little Barry Horowitz.
Barry
Horowitz.
Give it to
yourself. Yeah, this might be a record for Barry Horowitz's for you. Well, that's what happens when we don't have 97 co-hosts on with you. You got to Barry Horowitz is out. All right, next you got The Miz versus Damien Mizdow. There's a storyline. Damien Mizdow does win. He walks out with his girl and his music. Is it just me, or is this just too little too late?
Yep.
I don't give a shit. Like, I feel bad because I like The Miz as a heel. I like Damien Mizdow as a character. Like, it's one of those things I describe it as, and I've described it like this way before. It's like getting your high school sweetheart after she has an STD, 4 kids, and weighs 400 pounds. It's just too late, you know?
So you went a little farther than I was just going to compare it to a hand job that just went for too long. But we're on the same path there. The Primetime Players do another awesome segment. I enjoy these. Some people are like, "Oh, it's racist, not racist." I don't know. I think they have good intentions in their heart. But I'm so happy the Primetime Players are back. Well, and for that,
these are pick me ups. Like when the Primetime Players come on, I'm like, "Yep." I like, you know what I mean? Like, there's sometimes where you like root for comedy or root for guys. Like, I don't want to say guilty pleasures, because I just love it. I love the Primetime Players. I love Bo Dallas. I don't know. It's more my sense of humor.
I think their promo last week was terrible because it just felt flat. It wasn't funny. This week, they had a lot of great lines in there. Shout out to the Steel Cage, by the way, because I pointed out they called them Lost Matadores, which we did on the year-end special. When they announced them, I was like, wow, they took our spot. Again, they listened to our shows. I liked it. I love the fact that Darren Young dropped the rainbow is my favorite color line and that people got it. I love that was a great tongue-in-cheek thing. I love the fact that they got that over. So they had a lot of good, and the Puerto Rican bullfighters. I mean,
I thought that was a really good line.
They did great.
I enjoy it. And hopefully they do good stuff. But it always seems the Primetime Players always seem like, oh, I enjoy it. I hope they do good, and then something happens. You know, you have the TMZ breakup. You know what I mean? You had the manager talking shit about Kobe Bryant. It's always like, come on, Primetime Players, just get one good run together. You know what I mean? So, all right. Next, you had Luke Harper versus Ryback. Winner by DQ. Ryback. I don't know. I think these two guys, I'm not into big guy wrestling just because usually they suck. But I think Ryback and especially Luke Harper have some hustle and can wrestle. Like, I have no idea how Luke Harper's not higher on the card. Like, he should just be a main eventer. And Ryback, he's on the John Cena, Roman Reigns situation where, like, if you just shut your fucking mouth and not do any real interviews and we know your real personality, you might fucking get over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm kind of opposite. I think when he came out and started talking about his past a couple months ago, I think that's when I first started liking him.
I think a little bit there, but sometimes like he's definitely dumb. And anyone who doesn't think he's dumb, just watch Tough Enough. Just meet him. Just fucking look at his Twitter line. You know what I mean? But I think someone sat him aside and be like, hey, listen, dude, if you're a good guy, people have to actually root for you.
They have to actually like you. They have likability.
Yeah.
I like these two guys going at each other because it's what I said months ago about I would like to see the big guys in WWE wrestle a stiffer style. They can't wrestle strong style, but they can wrestle a stiffer style. And Harper and Ryback are definitely down on the page for wrestling a stiffer style. So I like the shots they took tonight. I like to see more of these two guys.
And Ambrose comes out, gets revenge, power bombs Harper, escapes through the crowd. And I just think these are, to me, this feud is two awesome guys that should be main eventers. Like, it's kind of like, you should be a main eventer, you should be a main eventer. We're not going to let you be main eventers because dun dun dun. Why don't you two just wrestle each other? And it always seems that, especially Ambrose is stuck in that. You know what I mean? It's like, you, Ziggler, you're supposed to be main eventers, wrestle each other. You, Harper, supposed to be, you know what I mean? It's like he's the ultimate mid-carder that should be a lot higher up on the card.
But there's always a flip side to that, though, is that you've got so many talented guys, they all can't be main eventers and they all can't be world champions. So sometimes
look who's on top. That you would have a point, sir, if they didn't have fucking.
If they didn't have shit on top, that's the issue. I think Harper versus Dean Ambrose at Extreme Rules is going to be a wife beater match where the loser has to have their wife beater washed. And that
gotcha. Yeah, because you would have a point if you were talking New Japan. If you were talking Ring of Honor in its heyday, you would have a point. But when you're like, man, they don't have enough room on top, and then you're just like, look who the fuck's up there. Look who the fuck's up there right now.
Shit on top.
Yeah. Naomi is interviewed by Byron Saxton backstage. I only want to bring this up because we trashed her kind of. We trashed her kind of earlier. I thought this wasn't that bad of an interview.
Yeah, it was okay.
Considering how shitty the heel turn was, I thought this interview helped her out a little bit, and not only that, but it wasn't that bad. It wasn't good. It was like one of those up and down. Like, it could be described as our podcast. It goes up and down. There's good moments and bad moments, but I thought there was more good in the interview than bad.
She had a good line. She said, it was just one I always harp on. Do win and losses not matter? And I immediately tweeted, do you not know what TV show you're on?
Yeah, exactly. Next is the highlight of the show. If you are going to watch one thing, this is what you watch. I had to put down Twitter. I had to put down Facebook. I even put down my beloved Internet Infantry chat. I was like, no, I got to focus on this. There is an actual wrestling match on it. It was Neville versus Dolph Ziggler. I lost my shit. I was like, fuck yeah, an actual wrestling match I want to see. I can't fucking wait. This is, what? We're really going to commercial?
Yeah, of course.
we're going to commercial. Are you fucking for real? All right. They come back from commercial, but overall, I thought the match was amazing. I really enjoyed it. Some of the matches, you had 450, off the barricade onto the floor. He tried to hit Red Arrow, moved out of the way, hit the zigzag, just a lot of spots. It was one of those matches that you focused on, you enjoyed it. It was the only reason to watch Raw, especially if, you could just watch a clip show like Wrestling Rantons. Cha-ching!
Exactly.
But even Wrestling Ranton will tell you, like, hey, come watch my clip show and then watch this match. I mean, this was probably the best match. And it was one of those matches where you just wanted more. You're like, why couldn't there have more? Why couldn't? It was just so much fun, so great. Everything was so exciting. I'm putting it over like $1 million. But like I said, if you love pro wrestling, just go and watch it. And Dolph Ziggler cut a promo. He's like, they're listening to you. And, like, even the UK audience was like, really, Dolph? Really? You know what I mean?
Yeah, Dolph, we bought that 6 months ago.
Yeah. Fuck you, Dolph. Don't fucking lie to us, Dolph. Don't lie to us. They ain't listening to shit. But,
I don't know. Somewhat.
I enjoyed this match, and, I thought it was absolutely amazing. And at the end, then it's who gives a shit? Bad booking. It went from great wrestling show to bad booking. Ziggler helps up Neville. They shake hands, and then the Red Rooster the Irish steroided up Red Rooster runs down and bro kicks everyone. And I don't even hate Sheamus. It's just awkward. It's like going to one of your favorite stand-up comedians and the show's over, and then your friend's like, oh, but I'm on after him. And you're like, oh, after him? You know what I mean? That's what it felt like. You're like, I don't hate you, Sheamus. It's a bit awkward. I got shit to do. I don't know. I just thought it was more bad booking after such a great match. But I don't know. I'm maybe going to look past this. WWE, you get a pass. I'm giving you a pass because this was probably the best match I've seen on television from you in a long time. Do you want to say how awesome the match was? And what did you think of the Irish Red Rooster?
Well, I think the match was awesome, and this goes to something that I've been wondering about for a while, is that we got Lucha Dragons by far. Kalisto, he's killing it right now. Neville comes in, and they're letting Neville be Neville. And that's a big thing for me right now to point out, is that he's still wrestling his pack. He's not, he's dialing it back a little bit, but he's still, tightrope walking a damn barricade and doing a 450 splash off the fucking barricade on the Ziggler outside. I mean, to think that you would ever see that on Raw, I was shocked. So my thing, and some people think maybe I'm too optimistic about it, is that with all the talent that's coming up from NXT, that talent is going to carry with it. So for a while, when Kenta and Devitt and Steen and Zayn and Tyler Breeze and so on and so forth, these guys are going to come up, and it's going to be really hard unless somebody really lays the hammer down and says, you guys are wrestling too good, which they don't seem to be doing right now with Lucha Dragons and Neville. It's a little glimmer of hope that maybe in a couple of years we're going to get a better product. The match itself obviously was awesome. Definitely watch it. Check it out if you can on Hulu Plus. And as for You Look Stupid coming in at the end of the match, the writing of it was bad, but I think the performance was good because I was watching closely. Ziggler was going to town on Sheamus. I mean, he was really potatoing him a couple times in there, and Sheamus was throwing him around. They looked like they were really going after it. And that's a point where performance, because they were really, going for it, I didn't guys fight because I'm here.
Sorry, you were just cutting in and out for a second. Go ahead.
Okay. I want to see Ziggler fight. I want to see Ziggler fight Sheamus because they were really throwing down with it when they had that little squash after the match. And I mean, it looked pretty good. So I think they're throwing these guys into I hate again to see another triple threat match. Hopefully maybe we can get a fatal four-way and throw Neville in there with Bryan, Ziggler, and Sheamus for the IC belt at Extreme Rules, and my booking hat would put the belt on Neville, or at least start a series with Neville and Dolph and Daniel Bryan. Although, one last little thing on this, and I'm going to say this because I've been trying to push this for a while out there in the internet, I would love to see, and I don't think it's too late for it yet, Dolph Ziggler and Daniel Bryan going old school and having a 7-match series for the IC belt. And having different, nice. I think if you could do that, a la Magnum T and Nikita Koloff.
But it's NHL playoffs just started. I imagine NBA playoffs are around the same time. I don't keep up with NBA anymore.
Yeah.
So it would make sense. You know what I mean?
You could have it fit in right there. Have them do a couple matches on Raw, a couple on SmackDown, one on the network, and then have the 7th match at a pay-per-view. And I think
that's not bad. That's not bad at all, sir.
Another Barry Horowitz for me.
This has to be a record-breaking day for you and your Barry Horowitzes.
Yes.
All right. I think we used to keep track of points, whose line was it anyway, but I think we surpassed that. Now we just collect Barry Horowitzes. And then that was kind of the main event, because afterwards it gets fucking weird. Afterwards, you have Rollins heads to the ring to the Extreme Decision. Is this fucking really happening? I did not give a shit about any of this. No. I think Randy Orton can't do the RKO, and I think Rollins can't cuddle with Triple H. I don't even fucking know. I don't even fucking know or care. You know what I mean?
I'll say that I'll give them this, that the stipulations they came up with, they made sense. Because if you're Seth Rollins and you can put a stipulation in there, you're going to ban Randy Orton from doing an RKO, especially after the WrestleMania RKO, which is awesome. And if you're Randy Orton, you're going to want a cage match to keep everybody else out of it. So it's just you and Seth Rollins in there. So the stipulations made sense. The whole setup was completely fucking stupid, though.
So there you go. And that's how it ends Raw. Why couldn't they end it with the match? Why did the Extreme Decision? I bet you we'd be a lot higher on this Raw if the Extreme Decision was before that match.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They could have done that. They could have done that in 2 minutes.
I don't know. Can you? I just don't understand how this is exciting. The Extreme Decision. What is this? Fucking LeBron James? What the fuck you mean? Who gives a shit? I just want to hype up lunch. Me and Wrestler Right that are gonna eat lunch. Burger King or McDonald's. The decision after the break.
It's like an extended contract signing, basically. So it just, it's and those aren't. I don't know. Maybe if the people who are looking at the numbers, maybe they get higher ratings for those contract signings because they've had an awful lot of them, but they're boring to me and most everybody else I know. So I don't know. Maybe the numbers say otherwise, but I that's all I can think of it.
All right, so yeah, I don't know. It fucking breaks my heart. Let's go to some live comments, and then we'll probably wrap this up. So try to get in your live comments quickly. Bullet Club Big says Blitz overly hawked that site, and all the bitching fests were annoying. But Google Tube's flagging system is flawed. I think it is. Like, even if you're pitching your site too much, then let the audience decide that. You don't fucking decide that. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. You think, because a lot of people thought I'd be celebrating. No. If I wanted to be better than Bruce Blitz, but why? Not this way. You know what I mean? I feel like fucking John Cena. It's just like, oh, here, fucking here. No, fucking no. Let him have his show, you son of a bitch, YouTube. And the system is beyond flawed. I've yelled at Google and YouTube about that a lot. Bullet Club Big, speaking of Lucha Underground, I saw Hernandez make his debut. One thing I remember from his TNA run was that nasty border toss on Gail Kim. Yeah, that was pretty sweet. And I think Lucha Underground is one of my favorite TV shows. A lot of people think we're negative. If you want to hear negative to positive Petey, watch a Lucha Underground review show of mine. I love Lucha Underground. I think it's one of the best shows on American television. I think it is the best show on American television. At D_Rock73 says, great. New Jessie McKay, a great woman wrestler, is coming to NXT. And D-Rock, you know a lot about the women's wrestling, so I'm going to take your word for it and looking forward to seeing her. Ricardo, thank you for the like, and everyone else who liked us on Facebook, much love. I appreciate it. I'm going to refresh this bad boy and see what we got. 20 likes, 0 thumbs down. Thank you. Not a bad record, if I do say so myself. And let's see where it is. Okay, Total Nonstop Action says Raw was trash. Neville versus Ziggler and Roman getting his shit pushed in by the Big Show were the only good parts. Yeah, I could see your point there. Razor Wolf says, by the way, Coco, wanted to let you know I'm loving New Japan Pro Wrestling with English commentary. I don't care if I'm watching year-old matches. Thanks, bud. No problem. I think it's the best product in the world. Brandon Matthews. I always feel guilty saying that because I live in Japan, but I think it's still fair to say it's the best product in the world. Brandon Matthews, a Brana loss. I probably misslaughtered that. A weak loss, only because Adrian Neville versus Ziggler stole the show. This was a dream match that should give Neville a big boost. Creative is silently pushing the Mighty Mouse gimmick with Neville, even if some people don't want to believe it. Neville has looked strong against some of the top talent main roster. As long as it's not doing it. I mean, you can see they have the fireworks. They have him crashing into the planet Earth on the thing. He has a cape. I think like it's one of those. I think it's let's see how far we can go before they flip the fuck out. And I'm okay if he has a cape and fireworks in the beginning. I'm okay with that. I liked Shane Helms as the Hurricane. I'm okay. Yeah. Like I think ACH and a Hurricane gimmick on WWE would be amazing.
You notice how quickly Neville gets rid of that cape, though.
Yeah. He's like, it takes one step out. He's like, Mom, I'm not wearing my scarf in front of my friends.
Yep.
Wouldn't surprise me if he's booked against Cena on this week's SmackDown for the U.S. title. It's a possibility. I hate John Cena, but at least he's being a fighting champion and he's on SmackDown. Because nothing pissed me off with it. No one works harder than me, and he doesn't show up on SmackDown. At least, if he showed up on SmackDown, showed up on Main Event every now and then at least him saying no one works harder than me kind of makes sense. Because if you're like, no one works harder than me, that just means you fucking show up early. Who gives a shit? You have to be good at your job.
I'll give this to Cena. If Cena wrestles Neville and they do this, if Neville's going for the Red Arrow and Cena counters it with the springboard stunner, I will give Cena some kudos for that if they can pull that off. That's the only way I will like that.
I honestly don't think he can pull it off.
I don't think he can pull it off.
I think we'd have to start next week's Raw show. You would have to come back, and if they do, or we could do a SmackDown review this week. But you'd have to come back, and we'd both be like, "Congratulations, John Cena." We'd have to give him a tip of the hat. I mean, we'd have to be a man of words. If he could do the Red Arrow, and it looks sweet. But I don't know. He can't even fucking hit it when someone's standing right behind him.
Yeah, he only hit it good the first time he did it against Rusev, and every other time, like tonight, was terrible. That was terrible.
Yeah.
And Barrett didn't know he got hit.
Brandon goes on, Cesaro and Kid looked horrible to losing to Orton. Yes. It's only a matter of time before the Lucha Dragons take the tag titles. Possibility. The Divas Battle Royal was a clusterfuck of terrible. Yeah. I already knew Paige would win that sham of a match, but Naomi turning heel was a surprise no one cared for. Then we all went through the Cena motions. The feud with Reigns and Big Show is going nowhere. Well, maybe Big Show's retirement. That's what fucking WrestleRant keeps saying. That would be nice.
That's what I'm hoping for. That would make total sense.
Same goes for Luke Harper and Dean Ambrose. I think they're just too good and they're stuck with each other. The A-list battles, Mizdow and Miz, are headed for a brick wall. I think it already hit the brick wall. I think they're just trying to pick up the pieces. Like, I see it as a Lego car, and they just throw it into a brick wall, and they're just trying to put the pieces together as quickly as they could.
That'll be the worst booking of the year. It was a 6-month build, and this is the blow-off? Come on, guys.
I'm kind of glad that Kane didn't turn against the Authority. Not yet, at least. It would be best if he'd save his face turn for Payback, but that's just my opinion, and stop putting Finn Balor in dark matches. Yeah, that would be nice. I don't give a shit what Kane does. The less Kane is on my television, the happier. Razor Wolf says, I take my 6-year-old and 8-year-old to local wrestling events, old school Memphis style with blood and the whole nine. WWE needs to understand, legit, all my kids want is more ring pops and dudes doing backflips. That is a good point. And I'll let, but like, my kids love Dragon Gate. They can't watch WWE. I think, you know what it is? The product isn't for kids. That's their excuse for them sucking. You know what I mean? Like, and you know this in the author world. There's so many young adult writers and so many kid writers that just suck at writing. But they're like, oh, but I'm a kid's writer. No, you're a shitty fucking writer. You're not a fucking kid's writer.
Which is a great illustration, because kids writing doesn't mean you dumb down your prose. It means you have good prose. It's just the theme is for children.
Yeah,
this is not what you're doing.
If you have a parent, if you become a parent, you will know that as soon as like you start watching television. You're like, oh, this is a well-written show. This is shit, and it's just crazy. And not only that, but I noticed the well-written shows. That's the one the kids go to. You know, they're like, oh, I want to watch. You know, like I think Perry the Platypus, Phineas and Ferb is well-written. I think a lot of the Disney cartoons are well written. I think Nickelodeon, you got a 50-50 shot, you know, and that's what they go to. And it's just, then you have some that not so good. Rihanna Jackson, I thought everyone forgot about Fandangoing, but I was wrong. Still didn't save the show. I think, especially in the UK, I don't think that would have went over anywhere else. Razor Wolf, still to the day I die, Barry for the Hall of Fame. That would be amazing. Mr. Jason 916, since Vince McMahon is out of touch, the comedy he and Kevin Dunn scripted is so sketch show comedy from the 1970s. Coco, you know Vince is keeping Daniel Bryan off to make John Cena and Roman Reigns look strong. That's a possibility. Rihanna Jackson says, me to the primetime players, there was one Puerto Rican bullfighter. One. Ernesto Pasto, and he died nearly 100 years ago. The fact that she looked at Rihanna Jackson, awesome. You give yourself a Barry Horowitz, the queen of the internet infantry, rocking it.
She pulled a wrestling ranting.
Power Play says they should have only given Ryback a Twitter when he's a heel, then brainwash him into thinking the internet doesn't exist when he's a face. That's a good point. I don't know. He's kind of fucking stupid though. He's really dumb. Like I've met Ryback. And there's some people that you just meet and you're just like, I just want to get away from you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's some people that are like, wow, oh, cool, okay, funny, ha ha ha. I wonder if I can hear this guy's stories. And then there's some people you're just like, the faster I can get out of this conversation, the better.
Yeah, I like Ryback.
I like Ryback the character, Ryback the person. I'm talking about legit person. It's just he's dumb.
Well, I like to eat with him because he apparently gets a lot of food, and I would probably lift with him, but that's probably about it.
Yeah, well, I'm fucking can't lift shit, so fucking I'm good. Power Play. It isn't the Hell in a Cell. They can climb over the cage or go through the door, so why don't they? I wish it was an Inferno or Extreme Rules match.
Wow.
Yeah, but I think it's one of those they just have to live in the universe. Because I remember at Combat Zone Wrestling, they were like, I'm in the cage and there's nothing you could do. And then the heels were like, I'm just going to climb the fucking cage. And the fans fucking hated it. They're like, of course you can climb the cage, you fucking idiot. You could also bring a gun to the ring. So, yeah, I understand your points. All right.
Yeah.
Boop, 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 boop,
How much do you want to bet that one of J&J is going to go through the announce table off the side of the cage?
Oh, that'd be nice. I don't know. Maybe they'll have something good happen. That's when you remember, like an Attitude Era. You're like, what are they gonna do? It's gonna be amazing. Now we're at this era. Maybe they'll do something.
Maybe they'll do something nice.
I mean, I'd love to have my old radio shows back in the Attitude Era. Be like, can you fucking believe it? What is Mick Foley gonna do? What's Undertaker gonna do? You're all excited. Nowadays, you're just like, maybe they'll do something good.
It didn't. Nowadays, it's like it didn't suck. So
yeah. Like it didn't suck. Oh, man. But, of course, they didn't lose any fans. Don't look at the pay-per-view buys or the ratings. But, yes. Great. I am Mikey. Mike Ashman says, fun note. WWE goes to UK, gets racial slur chants. TNA goes to UK, Euro tours with blanket Spanish faction, and make an impact with the show getting embraced. Tells a lot about the WWE image of their talents. Laugh my ass off. And I don't know. I think even though WWE is the biggest fucking racist company in the world, you chanting racist terms doesn't, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's one of those. I'm quick to blame the WWE on a lot of shit. You know, I've fucking made 1,000 videos just blaming WWE for fucking shit. Like, it's raining outside. Hashtag fucking WWE, you know? But I think when it comes to racial slurs out in the audience, that's on them. That's not a TNA or WWE thing. I mean, maybe you have a small point, but at the same time, the blame has to go on those assholes. AC Dub Rims 24, Ratton and Dave, you two are the best, and that's pretty much all I have to say. LOL. I appreciate the kind words.
We're going to be the only pretty soon.
Well, I don't know. Have you ever gotten your channel taken away? Because I got my channel taken away, and I had a fucking
I got that.
Top through hoops.
No, I got the same thing. I got a content strike, which is why my videos are only 15 minutes now because I'm back down to that limit.
Dude, you just pulled a fucking sleazy WWE marketing. You dude, give yourself 8 Barry Horowitz. because out of nowhere you were like, oh, we don't do long shows, we do short shows. And I'm like, wow, that's a cool, different direction. No one does that. And meanwhile, you were forced to do it. You just turned something horrible.
No, the Raw rants, the 10 things you need to know about Raw. Those are usually like 5 minutes long, but I can't do the retrospectives because those usually are longer because I have to review a whole pay-per-view. I can't do those anymore unless I break them up into 2 parts. So because of content strikes, so people out there, the flagging is not cool, man. We're all one big community. All share the love. Come on.
Yeah, like even if you hate another show, just fucking ignore it. Even if you hate us, ignore it. You know what I mean? It's just, why ruin it? Not that, but like, you know, let's name people that we have other shows that we might not like. Wrestling Rantin.
Yes.
Wrestling Rantin, Straight Shoe, Bruce Blitz. They might fucking think differently, and they might do stuff that we don't agree with, but it's YouTube. They should have the right to do it. That's bullshit. And then if you're one of those guys that flag other channels, really, like, I got to the point now that, like, could you imagine meeting another podcaster and be like, oh, I flag other shows? I'm like, dude, how am I not fucking punching you in the face?
Yeah, I saw that.
Never. If you like our show, please don't flag another show. Just like our show and fucking be a part of our community. Don't ruin someone else's shit. Because I see that sometimes, like a big YouTuber, they'll be like have 20,000 subscribers, and they're like, yeah, we have people flagging shit. Like, come on, dude.
The thing people need to know, because a lot of people have been. What was the guy that you put on the other week? I forgot his name, but he asked about getting some stuff together to make a show, and I said you got to understand that doing wrestling review shows, you're not going to have a lot of viewership. It's not like movie reviews. It's not like anything else on YouTube. We don't get a lot of views. So,
you do it because you love it. You don't do it because it's a fucking livelihood.
And you shouldn't be competitive about it, because we're all happy for if we get 100 views, if we get 10,000 views on some certain videos, we're happy just to have people listening to us. But we do it anyway because we like wrestling and we like talking about it. So there's no
Because
reason.
let me tell you something, especially me and Boom Boom, and I'll even say, I'll throw a wrestling rant in here. If there wasn't YouTube, straight up, we'd be on Skype talking to each other. We'd just be like, hey, can you believe it? I mean, basically, Wrestle AM, which was a version of this, back in the day, we had an online radio thing. It was just because me and James, we'd be talking wrestling 24/7. James Legend, now promoter of Brawl. And we're like, dude, we talk wrestling anyway. Why not just record it? I'm like, sure, why the fuck not? Boom. Our online careers took off. I guess if you count this taking off. But we've been doing it a long time, so that got to count for something. All right. That's what I tell my wife when I.
Why do you do this for 2 hours every Monday? We should be in bed for my 30 seconds.
You caught me deep. You caught me deep. Too close to home. All right. I am Mikey. Mike Ashman says the Russian chain match, which is supposed to be being pushed. How would you set up the match? Replace the ring rope with chains and equip each wrestler with a chain, or keep the match simple like a bull rope match? I would just keep it the way the NWA has it. Yeah, just keep it simple. I don't, because the thing is, it's Rusev and John Cena. What the fuck are you gonna get out of a fucking chain match? Yeah, no. I would just keep it simple and old school. I mean, I wouldn't go extreme. I wouldn't be changing the game or anything because it's just not cool. All right.
Well, I'd almost want them to change the game because I maybe not so much the Russian chain match. I have always wanted to see them bring back the strap matches because the strap matches just naturally have good spots because you have that smack of those, and you could do a lot of good stuff with it. Rusev and Cena in a Russian chain match, you're going to get a Super Cena spot. We all know it's going to happen. He's going to lift Rusev up on his back and get that fourth turnbuckle. So, spoiler.
Hey, cover for me for 5 seconds. Sorry.
Yes. So anyway, yeah, we have to keep in mind that this is a John Cena match, and nobody thinks Cena's going to lose unless they're doing something with Lana. The one weird thing about it is last time I was on Dave's show, I did say that it seemed like they were starting something with Lana turning face after WrestleMania, and it seems like that kind of got dropped off because she's back in cahoots with Rusev right now. So I don't know. To your question, again, if anybody hasn't seen a Russian chain match, if some of you newer fans don't know what a Russian chain match is, or chain matches, dog collar matches, whatever, it is a good reason to go on YouTube or the WWE Network if you can. Look up Bruno Sammartino and Ivan Koloff. Look up Greg Valentine and Roddy Piper from Starrcade 83. There was even a halfway decent one with Sting and Nikita Koloff. I was there for this one. In Baltimore.
Oh, that must have been awesome. Nice memories there.
Yes. Well, I went to all the bashes in Baltimore because I lived in Baltimore. We got the bashes every year. And that was 91's bash, I think, which was a terrible bash.
Was that the first one ever? The Sting
versus
Flair? Because as a little kid, I remember that being the greatest show ever, and I'm afraid to go back and watch it just because of how much I loved it as a kid.
You know, funny enough, and when I get to the 80s, I'll cover this, but they had 6 bashes at the arena in Baltimore. My favorite one was 89, where you had Muta and Sting and that match with Terry Funk and Ric Flair. The Sting Nikita Koloff Russian chain match was actually at the worst Great American Bash, which was the one in 91 where Flair had left. And they had Luger and Wyndham for the world title when they had the tag team belt because they didn't have a championship. So they used the tag team championship as the world title belt. That was the scaffold match.
That's crazy because nowadays you would have so many belts with all the belt makers.
Exactly. It's just that was a terrible one, the 91. So if you do go watch that one, only watch for the Sting Nikita Koloff Russian chain match because the rest of that pay-per-view is pretty damn bad. Unless you want to see Stone Cold Steve Austin on a scaffold in the worst scaffold match ever. But that's about it.
Stone Cold's like, fuck this place. I got to go to ECW and start talking shit.
You remember that one? That was the one where they had, instead of the steel, they put the boards up on. It was like
bro, you're the historian. If you asked me, do you remember last week's Raw? I'm punch drunk, bro. I don't remember that far back. I remember how I felt and I remember certain things, but I'm definitely not a historian.
Well, this is when WCW, for you guys out there, was going the way WWE is now. Scaffold matches, for those of you who don't know, you would have a tag team. The idea was to knock the other tag team off the scaffold, which broke Jim Cornette's knee at one point in time. This scaffold match, WCW was trying to be to WWF. So instead of knocking each other off the scaffold, they had to go and get flags from the other end of the scaffold to win the match, like a King of the Mountain Halo multiplayer game. It was really fucking lame. And that's your history lesson for this week, kids.
Like, thanks. Will there be a test? No, but it is important to know. But yeah. All right, let's do one more sweep of comments and then wrap this bad boy up. Bullet Club Big says, a part of me thinks that Vinnie Mac is back there chuckling, saying to himself, yeah, she's an N-word. That how much I think Vince is a bigot. I don't want to get on my soapbox, but that's my own theory. And he says, hashtag flagging ain't cool. And I definitely agree with the flagging ain't cool. I just think Vince McMahon, his track record shows, like, it's one of those, either he doesn't know he's a racist or just doesn't give a shit that he is a racist.
I don't think he knows.
You think he just doesn't know?
I think he doesn't know because he is the biggest proponent of Martin Luther King Jr., yet at the same time, he's got, I think he thinks what he's doing is empowering to black people, but he's got this kind of Southern Baptist New Day kind of view of, shucking and jiving that he thinks is good, but he's just out of touch, dude.
Yeah. At Kevin ENOCH says, hey, I like both of yous. Watch both of you Monday stuff in the backgrounds, and he's talking about me and Bruce Blitz. Yeah, I just hope Bruce Blitz is having a bad time on YouTube. Hopefully it works out for him. I don't fucking hate him. And now if people come over and start talking shit saying he's the best, I'm going to make fun of those fucking assholes. But Bruce Blitz himself, yeah, I have no problem with.
Yeah, and just his team and Mad Genius. Those guys Mad Genius is awesome. So I'm definitely going to miss not hearing him every Monday.
Yeah, and it just fucking sucks. I know they have a paid site, and I'm glad they have backups, and maybe that's what we need to start doing. I know Bruce Blitz has a paywall. Hopefully he makes money off that. I don't know if my content's good enough to be on a paywall, but you also have Straight Shoot, who's taking donations and shit. And I don't want to go that route, but at the same time, I don't want to lose my shit. You know what I mean? It's like I think that's what's more valuable to me.
You could have it one day. There's one thing that I know, OSW reviews, and they probably legitimately, I hate to say this, but they basically streamed pay-per-views and talked over them. But they got booted a little while ago. And what they're doing now, which may be something for you guys out there to think about in the future, they put up a video that just basically links to their website where they have the actual video that they have on like Daily Motion or some shit like that. So
yeah, and I imagine that's what Bruce Blitz is going to do and stuff like that. And I just, fuck. I don't know. I want to work on a project where like we can help YouTubers, especially pro wrestling YouTubers, fucking not have to deal with this shit because it's getting ridiculous. And you run different podcasts. No one has to jump through more hoops than pro wrestling podcasters.
No, I've got 5 different shows from paranormal to movie reviews to web development, and the wrestling YouTube channel gives me the biggest pain in the ass with content strikes.
Do you think? Now, here's the thing. Do you think it's more people don't know how to pirate and don't know how to speak English flagging, or do you think it's, oh, I want that show gone? Or do you think it's a perfect storm?
I think if they want that show gone, because I get the movie review shows are a lot like my wrestling review shows. I never get anybody going on there, oh, I thought this was Kingsman. No, they go on there and they expect a review. The wrestling people, I think a lot of it is just people just flagging just to be assholes, basically.
Yeah, that's just a sad situation. All right, I think we're wrapping this bad boy up because I don't see any more comments, and I am doing the pee-pee dance, and I gotta go eat. I gotta go eat lunch with my wife. I was about to call her the old lady, but she was in earshot. I'm like, yeah, I like vagina.
Yeah, you don't want your balls tied up to a car battery either.
Good point. All right, so please like, comment, subscribe. Check out KocoSports.net. Also, check out our buddies over at Geek Essentials. We're working together slowly but surely. Maybe I'll have to talk to them about it. Boom Boom wanted me to pass this. He's usually our co-host, but started working on Mondays. So now we have anyone that's willing to show up. Boom Boom wants to wear a mask because more people want to see us on camera. but he wants to have a cool lucha name. So if you want to put that down there. And Bruce Blitz, you probably hate us or don't know about us. Either way, that sucks, bro. You know what I mean? And same thing with Straight Shoot, has to go through jumping through hoops. Hopefully we can change that. And of course, Wrestling Rantin', tell the Internet Infantry what they can do for you and your final thoughts on tonight's show.
Final thoughts on WWE's Raw. Like I said, it was a tie. Basically, we had a better than expected promo from Roman Reigns. I think he's going in the right direction, especially if this leads to him retiring Big Show. Look out for that. If that happens, I think Reigns is on the right course to getting his mojo back. Cena, forget about it. Can't save that fucker. He needs to retire. And, of course, Ziggler and Neville were absolutely amazing. You can catch Wrestling Rantin' here on the web at webchannel24.com/wrestling. Webchannel24.com also is going to be the hub in 2 weeks for, as I mentioned before, all my other review shows for the paranormal, for code reviews, movie reviews, comic book reviews, everything else. So stay tuned for that. We're going to have this week on Wrestling Rantin' another top 10. It'll be the top 10 things we can do to improve Monday Night Raw. That's going to be an interesting one.
I'll watch that. I'll sit down and watch. I'd like to comment, subscribe to that, pal. All right, go on.
So check that one out coming up. It'll probably be up on Wednesday. And we also try to contribute at least an article a week to KocoSports.net. So check us out on there as well. And again, find us at webchannel24.com/wrestling. That's with 3 S's, RASSSLIN. Until then, thanks, Dave, for having me on tonight, and we'll see you guys soon.
All right. You don't get to end the show. What the hell? Like are we going up there? I got the button.
We as in me as an entity, not
like,
Dave.
I was like, dude, I was like, who's driving the bus? I'm like, did he just end the show? Like, wait, no, I have the button. I have the red button. Please like, comment, subscribe. Check out other stuff. Check out Wrestling Rantin'. Check out our buddies at Geek Essentials. And yeah, last comment of the night, I am Mikey. Pro wrestling YouTubers and media journalists just need to unify and work together. I agree with that. I think too many people act like they have to be Vince McMahon, and there's other ways of doing shit than that. YouTube gives us too much free roam, access to flag content, and ruin the hard work put into by YouTube providers. For sure, make up a backup account. Yeah, and me and I think Wrestling Rantin' knows. You know about the secret project, right?
Yes.
All right, so we're working on a secret project, and maybe the secret project can somehow help other YouTubers and have a home and all that stuff. So we'll get on secret project. I got to get on it this week. Matter of fact, when we get off the air, I got to tell you about the secret project.
Oh, something new on it?
No, something I need your help with.
Okay.
not really new. More like I can't do this, so I need your help, sir. All right.
Gotcha.
Like, comment, subscribe, me, Wrestling Rantin', and anyone else out there, dude. Dude, it's YouTube. It's fun. Back in the day, let me tell you, Grandpa story. Bray Wyatt promo.
Get your lighters out.
Dude, back in the day, you used to fucking be able to do video responses. You used to host each other's shows, take over your channels. I missed that. YouTube, start being fucking YouTube again. So, like, comment, subscribe, check out KocoSports.net, KocoSports.net, and with that, thank you very much. Wrestling Rantin' and Internet Infantry, I am over. Boom, 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 boom.